It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office, back at Division? Yeah, in the office, baby. Going out.
That is right. We are answering the call today. We are Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, coming to you from a very special location, Station 111, the Westerville Firehouse here at 400 West Main Street. And we are thrilled to be here trying to beat the heat with a great promotion. And you can help us, help families in Franklin County, Matty. And it is on, and we've already played with all the toys. They're ready to kick us out, I think.
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. It's a great hospitality already. We're here for a great cause, as you've mentioned. We've got Gatorades. We've got a charcuterie board that we walked into. I mean, they are spoiling us already.
They said all the finest meats and cheeses when you show up, so that's exactly what happened. So we're very excited. We got a good show for you today. We'll talk Jackets with the draft tonight. We'll talk Bengals. You know we'll have overs and unders this hour. Pressure cooker in the second. Our boy J. Lou will toss some chin music. And a very special guest in the final hour, CBJ coach Dean Evison will hop on. We'll get his feeling about the momentum that they built at the end of the year, coming up only 2 points short of that playoff spot, and what he thinks he needs in that room moving forward. So we'll have him on as well. But we begin with a leadoff hitter of our own, Chief Brian Miller here, 10 years plus. We're thrilled to be on duty for you. I know that's probably a little scary for you.
It's all good.
I've always dreamed as a kid of steering that hook and ladder. You already let me do that a little bit. Slow on the driveway, though, not in the public. I'll tell you about my map of shortcuts soon, so you can get to these fires a lot easier. And there's always some brash young hothead that wants to come in here touting maps and shortcuts and fancier colors for the truck.
Yep.
You're probably doing just fine on your own.
Yeah, we're doing great here. Welcome to our firehouse. Glad to have you here, and we really appreciate you guys supporting this cause, getting fans out to the people that need them, and can't say enough about both of you taking this up as an initiative and helping out everybody that we try to help every day.
Not just today, even though we'd love to see them stop by here at the Westerville Firehouse at 400 West Main Street. Drop off a box fan, drop off a mobile fan, anything to help people beat the heat. We'll give you the first 100. We'll give you a free ticket to Cardell Jones and the celebrity softball game at Huntington Park on July 19th. But you can do that in Franklin County all summer long.
Yeah, any fire station in Franklin County will accept fans, and we'll definitely get them to where they need to go. But, yeah, feel free to drop them off at any time. And, typically Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. If you got to come in a little bit later than that, that's okay. But we're here 24/7, ready to serve everybody 365 days a year. But, again, this is everybody's opportunity to help us out, to in turn help out all the people that we serve.
Could not wait to get here. Thanks so much for what you do and what the team does here. It's tremendous stuff. I was just so curious to pick your brain on the everyday grind and what it's like roaming this building and just staying prepared. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, we're really fortunate, not just at my fire station. I also have 2 others, but all the firehouses here in Central Ohio. We have just amazing firefighters in our area, and they come in every day dedicated. They train hard, they work hard, and they're here to serve all the people that call us when they're in need. I can't speak highly enough. We're really fortunate in this area. We all work together really well. But we just got great people. Like I said, they train very, very hard. They're very educated. They're great at the jobs that they do. And it shows. When we go out, people are having a bad day, we show up and we're doing everything we can to make that day just a little bit better for them and get them to the safety and the help that they need.
Chief Brian Miller with us here, Westerville Firehouse, as we beat the heat today. Over 1,600 firefighters in Columbus. If you add some of the counties you mentioned to me, there's so many people. I think Matty mentioned something that I'm very interested in. And we talk about it in sports all the time, about staying ready. What is that dynamic for your team, never knowing when that alarm's going to fire? Also, so being ready, but also being relaxed and keeping your mind right and keeping the anxiety down, because you guys do battle some very dangerous situations.
Yeah, every day they come in, you never know what your day is going to bring to you. So when the alarm drops, again, that's why we do so much training, but it's just keeping that mindset that, we always have to adapt and overcome to whatever the situation is. So, when we do get, on an EMS call, you may go in, and it could be somebody that's in cardiac arrest. And the crews have trained, just like sports teams, so well. They know the play, they know what they got to do, and they get in there and they do it. And, and that's where we have success. The same thing on fires and rescue incidents. We kind of have a game plan, kind of a set thing that we do when we first arrive on pretty much all emergency scenes, and then we got to, move and adapt to what's going on around us. So I really do credit a lot of that to the good training that we do. And then just also experience comes into that as well. So, again, just like with sports teams, you always have your players that have a little bit more experience that have seen some of these things, and they bring that back to the table and they share it with our younger firefighters, and and that's how we adapt and we respond to those types of emergencies.
Interesting. I'm curious, you mentioned the team aspect of that, and I think it's a great component to bring up in a topic like this. How do you go about the assignments and who gets to do what when you guys are called upon to help out?
Yeah, and again, there's a lot of analogies tied back into sports, but we have lieutenants, kind of like the coach of each fire truck. And then a battalion chief who kind of coaches the whole team. But, they identify strengths and weaknesses, and, if there's they obviously identify those strengths, and we encourage those, and we use those to the best of our ability. And if there's any weaknesses, that's what we work with our older firefighters training our younger firefighters. But they assemble these teams, putting them on the trucks. That, everybody's going to bring something to the scene, to the emergency, and get us through it. So yeah, and the other thing with the fire department, I think most people realize, a lot of the firefighters are here 24 hours a day. It kind of becomes their second family. So, it's a strong team bond, and there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of goodwill between each other. Don't get me wrong, they jab each other a little bit too. But, when they build that team and when they show up, because they are trusting their life and and their coworkers' lives and their other firefighters. And so, everybody's got to perform 100% every time, every day we roll out that door, because, we're relying on each other and the community's relying on us to be 100% every time we come through that through the door going to their emergency.
Incredible. Westerville Division of Fire answering the call since 1860. Where would you rank that tanker fire last weekend near my place? Because I'm here in Westerville, and that smoke just traveled. I thought it was right over my neighborhood. It was a little farther away, obviously, on the highway. But that challenge, that danger, something I've never seen before. You had a full-blown city that didn't know what was happening at the time.
Yeah, that was definitely one of a major incident. We had a tanker truck that was on fire, had about 8,500 gallons of gasoline burning in it. Again, because all of our teams do come together, there was multiple fire departments from across the city of Columbus and Franklin County. So Westerville was there, city of Columbus was actually in their jurisdiction. And then Franklin Township, that's down on the south side. And then the other thing was kind of unique, you typically don't see, is Port Columbus actually sent an airport fire truck out that carries a lot of foam. So it required a lot of resources, again, a lot of that training and talent to get the foam in operation. And, most people don't realize when you drive down a freeway, you don't see fire hydrants on the side of the freeway. So so we got to work on, getting water and getting that foam to that scene. Fortunately, the driver was okay. He was transported, but there was no fatalities out of that. But, again, that's where that teamwork comes together, and everybody came together to get that mitigated. And, and you even got to give a shout-out beyond that. The Ohio Department of Transportation got in there. They got it repaved, and I think by 5 a.m. the next morning it was all open back up, ready to go. So,
Chief, this was Maddie's first time up on that ladder, so I'm going to make the assumption that he's going to buy the ice cream for everybody today.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. The rule in the Firehouse is if it's the first time you do something, you owe ice cream. So.
And the other thing is I'm willing to do the dishes today, but I'm going to play some Texas Hold'em for it. I'm not just going to volunteer to do them, right?
Yeah. So, sometimes there's some card games, that they do. It depends station to station. And sometimes it's the new boot, the new firefighter. They do some of the house chores. But, again, everything we do as a team. So everybody chips in and gets the job done.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Prior to us coming on the air, I asked you, who are you into when it comes to teams that you root for, around the state of Ohio? You mentioned Ohio State being one of them. Yep. As a Buckeye fan, how did you feel last year when they didn't beat Michigan but did go on to win a national championship?
They ended the season strong, and it's always disappointing when we don't beat Michigan. But it's sometimes you got to be humbled a little bit, and that just builds you up a little bit stronger. And I know the Buckeyes, they train a lot too, and it was a little disheartening, and one of my sons is a Michigan fan, so he was pretty excited, but But yeah, I was glad to see them pull through on the national championship.
I summed it up last week to Maddie this way: no one's ever going to dismiss a loss to Michigan. You can't. However, the only way it can be done is the way they did it last year. So if you drop a national title card down, you can at least focus on that. Anything less is uncivilized, and you can't do it against Michigan. So there you go. Well, also, before we go, because, listen, a spark can happen anywhere. You get this kind of heat, and listen, it could be a cigarette, it could be dry leaves. I had one of my dogs actually identify a fire that was going underneath a porch in our condo row based on just a cigarette ash on dry leaves. I didn't know about it. My neighbor, former firefighter George Wolf, but back in the day, if we would have gone inside, the whole row could have gone up. And my dog, Honey, actually was staring at this orange little flame underneath this balcony. But give our listeners a little bit about the dangers, what they can look for, what we need to do just as regular citizens to prevent you guys from having to come out.
Yeah, the biggest thing is you need to have working smoke detectors in your home, first and foremost. If you don't, call your local fire department. Pretty much all of us have programs. We'll come out, we'll install those for free. It won't cost you a penny. The other thing is fire doubles in size every 30 seconds. And I think a lot of times people don't realize that. It may start out what they think is a small fire. They may try to put it out themselves. But the reality is that fire is going to grow a lot quicker than what you think. So the most important thing is getting everybody to safety, calling 911, get us on the way, and then let us help mitigate and get that out and keep everybody safe. There's a saying by the U.S. Fire Administration is fire is everyone's fight, and I truly believe that. All of us have a responsibility to keeping us, our neighbors, and everybody around us safe. So, like I said, having those working smoke detectors, the fires I've been on, cooking fires is one of the leading causes of fatality fires. People put oil on the stove to, make French fries, and then they fall asleep, and then, the fire erupts, while they're sleeping. But I can't stress enough the importance of having that smoke detector. And pets, too, they're amazing at identifying, things like that, things that we miss. They got those higher sensory skills. They may smell the smoke before we realize it's going on. But I can't stress enough the importance of smoke detectors. And don't be afraid to call us. Even if it's a small fire, it's better to have us on the way. Even if you get it extinguished before we get there, it's better to have us on the way instead of having it go the other way where, the fire gets beyond your control and then we got larger problems.
Man, thank you for all your team, what you guys do.
Thank you.
I did make a map of all my shortcuts. I'm going to start in Westerville.
Okay.
And then when we get to Columbus, you're really going to see a magic show.
All right. I can't wait to see it.
Chief Brian Miller here at the Westerville Firehouse on Main Street. Beat the heat. Drop off a fan today. We'll be here, and we'll thank you for it, and we'll give you a ticket to the Cardell Jones Celebrity Softball game in July. We come back, and we talk CBJ, the draft tonight. But what do they need to do to build on that momentum? Rothman and Ice on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Get blockbuster savings at Coughlin Ford. 5-time winner of the Ford President's Award. Get employee pricing on new F-150s. 10 grand off MSRP on new 25s or 13 grand off new 24 models. Shop the fastest growing Ford dealership in Central Ohio. From America, for America. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
Based on YTD sales and ground stock. All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. Must finance through Ford Motor Credit. Not all will qualify. No security deposit required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N7725.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
While students may be out of school for the summer, Ohio's public school educators continue to work hard to make sure everyone can have a successful school year ahead. Whether you're taking part in professional development opportunities or working daily to keep our school buildings clean and running smoothly, we say thank you for your dedication.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. I wish I had an update to our forecast, but it remains the same. We'll have chances of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon into the early evening. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny skies. Highs in the mid to low 90s, and our feels like in the triple digits in some spots. For tonight, lows down into the 70s, and then for Saturday, a little bit cooler. Highs in the upper 80s, but we will see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Otherwise, mostly to partly sunny skies. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Anthony once ran the table on the World 9-Ball champion. Coincidentally, Maddie is out looking for a magic 8-ball. Signs point to this is Rothman and Ice.
No, I think it could be a big part of a deal. People talk about drafts not being strong and weak, and I don't look at it that way. You might not have the Sabrinis and some of the top end guys, but players are going to play. The difference in this draft, you might take a player at 14 that other teams have 25. I think everybody agrees that the top 7 guys are going to go 1 through 7 in some order. But after that, the guy that goes 8, we might have 20th on our list. Doesn't mean they're not going to play. It doesn't mean it's a bad draft. It's just after that first group of players, there's certainly a drop-off.
There he is, General Manager Don Waddell from the Blue Jackets, talking about the draft tonight, Maddie. So get the gong ready. I was talking to a former NHL coach.
There it is.
And I was
flex on him, AR.
And I was at Hey,
see, you can't even get it out because you're
Well, no, I said get the gong. I knew it was coming. I know it's coming. And I said to this person, at 14 and 20, you're probably not getting an impact guy and right away. And so my thought was he has to want to move these because the Jackets are so close now. And I'm not saying he's going to do something foolish. I'm just saying because he does have to have 1 foot in the future and 1 foot in the present still. It is that way. But I asked it this way. He's going to want to move those picks, right? And this is the response I got. Yes, and guess what? Everybody knows that. So that's the difference. And it started me thinking about what he just said. It's not a deep draft, at least from the analyst's point of view. It's not a deep draft. So, but Don Waddell, as we know, and I think you and I have talked to him, there is something to, I believe, that he wants to make a splash of some kind if he can. I don't think he wants to be, for the lack of better words, stuck picking at 14 and 20.
Yeah.
Not that he won't if he has to. Obviously, he'll have to make picks. But my feel, we'll ask Dean Evison about this at 2:30. What you can add to this team, I believe, if you can't get, listen, I know people, you could sell Hyan Voronkov if you can get a big-time D-man. That'd be fine if you want to do that, and that would be selling high. And if you want to get some winger depth, that's fine. But I feel like what they need, and I'll ask him about this, Matty, is you need to help continue the young core to grow, those kids that have a lot of skill. And to do that, you can't just add anyone. This may be very cliche, but I think you have to add someone that's been there, someone that's won, that has good character, that can help lead by example, that knows the accountability. And it may sound cliche, but if you want the Fantillis and those guys to keep growing, which you absolutely do, you need a vet or somebody that's been around winning and the best players in the world to come in here. That's a Brian Rust, somebody to come in and help this team continue that momentum.
I see the vision. I completely agree with you. And the vibes that JVR gave off last year, I think, could fall into what you just described as a guy that had been around for a little bit of time. You come in as a vet and not only be an example in the locker room, off the ice, and all those things, but on the ice as well. JVR was doing some good things, as we all know. You mentioned the young core. That's what this is all about. It's finding a way to help those guys continue to ascend the way that a Fantilli did last year, the way that a Marchenko did last year. KJ, Ken Johnson showed some good things. And so you have some pieces to work with that should be around for a nice amount of time, and that's what you're hoping for in this draft, whether it is making 2 picks in the first round, packaging those picks up to move up, or whatever you can do with the options that Don Waddell has. And I'm sure he's gone down all of those different paths to find a way to make this roster better. It's about pairing things up well with your young core and making sure those guys feel good about the future, and the fans I know are excited about where this is headed based off of the momentum that they created. So this is a critical offseason, no matter what sport we're talking about. When you have young guys on a roster that show you that there's promise, and to me the promise is there and it will be on the way in short order. I think the winning at a high level is right around the corner. You just want to make sure you do your part as a Don Waddell, as a decision maker, to not slow that down. So this is a critical offseason for the Jackets. And we talked a little bit about the goaltending situation yesterday. There's a little more clarity to that after the move that they made to send Tarasov down to Florida. But I think, AR, you mentioned the defenseman. That's a big part of, I think, this weekend and going into the offseason ahead is finding a way to get that line around Z sharper and have that defense have a little bit more bite to it, because we can talk all we want about the goalies having to do their part, and they do. That, at the end of the day, is a huge thing. But the resistance before you get to the goaltender is just as important. And hopefully, when you have a guy like Z, you can find a guy or two around him on the defensive side of things to really help him out, but more importantly, help out the squad.
That's it, right? You got to help them help themselves a little bit. If you can't, you're not going to snap your fingers and all of a sudden have a number one goalie. It's not going to happen. Now, those guys, certainly Jet's going to battle. And if Elvis is here, okay, great. You got to get what you can get out of him. And maybe they split that time. But I'm with you. I think depending on the quality of D-man that you could get in here, I think, because we talk about like Monahan and Fantilli and Silly and like the top 3 centers, and everybody knows finding a top 2 center or something, they're just not out there. It's not that way. So, and here's the other thing. You don't want to stunt Fantilli's growth.
No.
So you want that to keep going. So if you have those 3 and you could acquire a top 4 D-man with term, then all of a sudden you're making a step forward. And my gut is that that's where Waddell is. How can they step forward without sacrificing a lot for the future, not in an all-in mode? You're just in that kind of creeping towards where you were. You had that run. You missed the playoffs by 2 points. You were right there. The experience you gained from that, quote, playoff run or trying to get in, I think is important. Only Coach Dean will know about that, and we'll ask him at 2:30 where he is on that. But I think if you get a character guy that you surround, you get in that room with those, let's just call them kids, and that can continue that, and a guy with winning pedigree, too. It's not like the Jackets that this group is a bunch of people that have won a lot. So you need that kind of person, too. So I think that it just comes down to not a deep draft. You're at 14 and 20. If you can move them for something that can impact you now but not kill you in the future, and make a little bit of a splash and feel like that you're going into this season not kind of treading water, even though this team has a really good core. If you can get the goaltending, I almost equate them a little bit with, maybe you said this the other day, and that's why it's stuck in my brain, but you equate stepping up that goaltending and defense slightly, this team becomes a version of the Cincinnati Bengals trying to slightly improve their defense because their offense is so good. 5-on-5, this was a damn good hockey team last year. And so their special teams still ranks way too low. Power play was up near 20%. I think that's 22nd. PK was upper 70%, still bottom third. Special teams has to get better. Goaltending has to get better. And if you can get that area, special teams and goalie, they can just incrementally improve. And the goal scoring, they went through a little slump at the end of the year. Certainly when the pressure was highest, it was like they were squeezing a little bit. They couldn't score even though they were a great scoring team. That's where they are. So there's a lot to feel good about.
I like what you brought up about possibly bringing in a seasoned vet that's been there, done that to a certain level, right? And I think an example in another sport of that happening that just paid off is when Chris Paul played for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander talks about how valuable that year or two was for him to watch a guy that was one of the best at his position not only go about the basketball stuff, but go about just the business side of things and just the everyday life that it takes to succeed at a high level. And that just paid off for them. And that would be great, right? If we're talking 2-3 years from where we are now, that you have Fantilli, you have Kent Johnson, hopefully Caden Lindstrom will be a part of that too, that we're talking about the Blue Jackets winning at a high level and a guy in 25, 26 really being, a guy that they can call back on and say, man, this guy that they brought in helped us learn this or helped us do that. That just happened in the NBA with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hopefully that can happen with the Jackets because there's no doubt they have a bright future with some of the pieces that are already in-house.
Keep your eye on Brian Rust. 30-goal scorer.
Okay.
Played with the best players in the world. Vet kind of guy that has that character.
Yeah.
You get that kind of guy, you're just bolster everything that you want to keep that accountability going.
Amen.
All right, we're going to come back. And speaking of identity of teams, when is it good to let your identity go and start new? We'll tell you about that when we come back in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the Shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single-game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty was a big Browns fan. Scratch that, we mean he's a big fan of the former Browns. Oh, yeah? The Baltimore Ravens. This is Rothman and Ice.
Cleveland Browns planning to move their stadium to Brook Park, southwest of Cleveland, closer to us here in Columbus. I mean, that's going to be like, an hour and 20 minutes for people down here probably to get up to a Browns game now, if that happens. What's the move scheduled for, like 2029 or whatever that is?
Around that.
We've seen the renderings. It looks amazing.
It looks great.
So it got me thinking, and this is the way to look at it. If you and I own the team, then, of course, we would want this, right? We would want to move the team to an indoor, beautiful, state-of-the-art stadium and be able to sell to concerts and Final Fours and host a Super Bowl, and there's nothing like a brand-new stadium. The problem is in Cleveland, the identity is the Pound and the people that have gone to these games for generations and braved the cold. They wear it like a badge of honor. It happened years and years ago in Minnesota when I was a little kid, and the Vikings, that was the Purple People Eaters. You came there you could see the breath, and there was an advantage. You felt like there was an identity that when other teams came in there that weren't used to that, you had an advantage. Yeah. I wonder if that is now almost fake in a way. It's not that you don't believe that home can be an advantage, because the fans are a big advantage. But this whole cold weather thing, I was talking to Whiskey Paul about this, and the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, and where is that? There's nothing preventing Detroit from going to the Lambeau and winning just because they're a dome team. Now, you take Miami and you throw them into Kansas City. If they played a lot of home games in a row towards the end of the year and it's warm in December, then all of a sudden maybe there is a climate zapping that you can get them.
Shock, yeah.
There is a little bit of that. But it started me thinking about, because I was talking to Chanel number 5, big Browns fan. He's like, I don't want him to move because he grew up with, not the mistake by the lake, but he just grew up with that identity of Browns football. Heavy hitting, hammer, outdoors, by the lake, wind whipping off. And listen, the Bears are thinking about leaving Soldier Field. The Vikes already did it. Beautiful stadium. I've been there. It's awesome. The identity changes. And maybe the reason that you're afraid, because if you get a strong-arm quarterback and you get him outdoors, you have an advantage. But indoors, identities change. And I'm wondering from a Browns fan standpoint is, what are you clinging to? Are you just clinging to the nostalgia of outside? Or could changing the identity of the team with a new stadium, maybe drafting differently, a different type of I'm wondering if that's the one thing that you'd have to let go of, your identity, to maybe zap the curse.
I think big picture, it's what you mentioned off the top from the decision makers, the owners of the teams, the people in the city that are on board with making these things happen. There's so much money to be made when you can have a year-round venue that can host year-round events no matter what it is. The city of Cleveland just last year just got done hosting WWE SummerSlam. And when they got a taste of that, I'm sure they looked around amongst the many other reasons to want to go down this road and said, man, we just did that. We could do that time and time and time again, and what that could do for the city financially would be a big boost. The football side of things and what you're talking about, I understand. It's not something I really think about that much. Honestly, I don't. I think a lot of these players at some point in their life are used to playing in cold weather games, no matter where you were, whether it was high school, college, the pros. At some point in time, you've been down that road. Is it an advantage? I'm sure when teams go up to Lambeau and it's negative 10 degrees out there and all that crazy stuff, sure, I do. But I don't know how much of a difference it makes. Now, there's a difference between having that be a difference and being the identity of a team. I think for the Browns, what they have been over the last few years, especially when Nick Chubb was rocking and rolling, was, oh, yeah, we're coming into your building or you're coming into ours, and we're going to run the rock down your throat time and time again. Maybe they can get back to that. I don't know how much of the identity is going to change when they get into this new stadium, but I do know the reason why this is happening, the same reason why your Vikings in the city of Minnesota went along down that path as well, because they've got a chance, or they've had a chance to host things and host the Super Bowl and all of that. So big picture, it'll always come back to that. The identity of the football team, though, for some people, I'm sure it will change, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it's going to have an impact on the team itself.
Maybe, maybe not, but they're not clinging to some major success outdoors. And that's really my point.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if you were Buffalo and you would dome it up. You've been so close. You feel like that is a part of Bill's Mafia and that identity.
Mm-hmm.
I could never imagine them playing in a dome. I could never imagine Pittsburgh playing in a dome. I couldn't imagine Green Bay playing in a dome. I can barely imagine the Bears doing it.
Yeah.
But I said the same thing.
Did you think that Minnesota was going to do it?
Because that was their identity. And it was incredible. And now they've had just as much close success. I mean, listen, the Vikes were great back in the day. Never got all the way there. Browns have been points where they've gotten close in the AFC. And so maybe the whole point is letting go of this, whatever the nostalgia is of the outdoor stadium, to hopefully start a new beginning of a different identity. You know one thing, they get fans anyway. Brand new stadium, you build it, they're coming.
Let me ask you this, AR. When it comes to this, do we know about retractable roofs and whether or not that's going to be in play? Because if you were an owner of a team, let's 100%. Say you're D and Jimmy Haslam, would you want the retractable roof to play into that advantage that you're talking about? Like, hey, we got Tua and the Miami Dolphins coming up for let's say the divisional round of the playoffs. We got an option to throw that dome open or seal that thing closed. I wonder if that's in play too for some of these teams, or where the Browns are headed. I don't know. I haven't heard about the retractable roof part of this, but those could be some of the mental games that you could play if that is allowed. That, hey, we got a retractable roof. It's up to us whether or not we want to have this thing open in late December, early January to play into that identity that you're talking about.
It feels like, and I'll have to double check, so maybe somebody listening can let me know. I saw the renderings. It looked more like a sky roof versus a retractable.
Okay.
I don't think. It doesn't. No, I've not heard retractable.
Okay. Because I was just thinking about that. Like, hey, you and I are. Listen, we got Tampa Bay coming up here for the wild card weekend. It's 20 degrees outside. We may have some flurries. Our guys are used to this, playing in the AFC North, making the tour around Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and Baltimore. Let's lean in to what could be a home field advantage. I would play that card all day and tomorrow if I could.
Let me check this out. Now, I'm seeing some that have a new retractable roof stadium by 2020. Yes, there is talk of it. I can't tell you.
Okay.
You'd have to call Jimmy. Stop by a Flying J and see if you can get the Jimmy.
Flying J gift card.
And,
gas card, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I really did.
He'll give you a rebate on something. And then and figure out whether or not this is going to be a sunroof or not. Because I think that's the big deal. But I started thinking about this. I was talking to some Browns fans, and some are like, they can't even imagine going to an indoor football game as a home game. Like, it's
going to take time to get used to.
But
the
new generation, and I'll tell you what, even the older generation might love going to an indoor game in the wintertime. It
makes the in-game experience a little better for some. Yeah. It does. When you're not out there with, the hot chocolate that freezes as soon as you leave the concession stand and all that stuff, like, that stuff goes away. It does. And I think the environment will be great. The energy in those buildings will be great. I'm sure the noise will be louder in those type of arenas as well. So, like you said earlier, though, the renderings of this thing are really clean. They did an awesome job. And then I'm sure it's going to be a party down there every single Sunday, as it usually is, no matter where the Browns are playing.
And closer to us. And here's my whole point, what you're clinging to. You are clinging to the history and the nostalgia of it. They've made the playoffs 3 times since they were reestablished in 99. 3 times in 26 years. And all the quarterbacks and everything else. And that may be the one thing that just says the past is the past, start new and move forward. Yeah. But there are certain franchises that just, and I'm a big outdoor football guy just in general. Just I think it's a sport that needed to be played outside, but there are other people that say no, best of the best indoors. I never
not even
loved
really the football stuff. That's a part of it, but the owners are looking around and saying, we can do March Madness.
Oh, no.
We can do this.
Absolutely.
We can do that. And so we're not going to leave all that money on the table.
No, and that's why I started it with, if you and I own the team,
we'd probably get on this road.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Why would we leave all that money on the table?
Right.
The other thing I'll bring up is where you think, because everybody equates outdoors with the advantage, especially if you're playing a dome team. And then look what happened with the Detroit Lions last year. And the fact, how many games did they have indoors? Not even home, just indoors, like 14, something like that.
Bunch. I think they played 2 or 3 outside. Yeah.
And then the divisional playoff game, they let an outdoor team come in and score 45.
That was Tampa.
Washington.
The year before, I think Tampa came in there and put up some decent points on them too.
It's
in
like
the playoffs.
It's kind of like. But they won that game.
Right.
Yeah. And they lost to San Francisco. So they lost to another outdoor team.
It's an inexact science.
It's a matchup.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's because you can't predict, I think. The weather stuff isn't a major factor to me. I'm not the biggest home field advantage guy either in the pros.
Yeah.
I think in college it hits different. I do. But at the professional level, to me it's not as big of a gap or doesn't have as much of an impact on the game, in my mind.
It's like it's all momentum-based. I think if you have momentum, the home crowd is massive. I think that once you silence them or it gets weird, then you've tilted the playing field.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back. It's Friday. We'll do overs and unders next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Excuse me, did someone say jackpot? The Ohio Lottery's Mega Millions jackpot is up to $348 million. You heard that right, $348 million. Jackpots start at $50 million and grow faster than ever. And drawings are every Tuesday and Friday. With the new built-in multiplier, all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times. Play Mega Millions today.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Common Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the Memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I have been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, we say hello to our outstanding producer, TLC, the loose cannon, back in the studio. Beating the heat as well, and he's prepared some overs and unders that will dazzle the eye and illuminate the mind.
Something like that.
What do you got for
how's
us?
it going out there, fellas?
You know what? It's outstanding. I'm ready to put on this fire hat and the whole deal and really get after it out here. They just tell me not to, play with the toys too much, man. I want to, Maddie was up on that ladder. Mm-hmm. There's got to be something around here we can mess with. It's outstanding.
First of all, I'm late. I missed one when I heard that. So I was talking to Whiskey Paul about this.
If Whiskey Paul, the elegant farmer, is a flex,
he's a name drop.
So be it. But he is now. He brings those apple pies in the brown paper bag.
All right, Maddie, I'm speaking your language here. Cincinnati Reds All-Stars over under 2.5.
Well, Ellie's stamped.
Ellie's done.
Ellie is absolutely, he will be there.
I think there's somebody above Ellie who should be the first one named.
For the Reds?
Uh-huh.
Who, Friedel?
No, Abbott.
Oh, Abbott. Yeah.
Abbott's been awesome.
Abbott will be there.
Abbott from the left side is spinning it at a high level. But what we're seeing from Ellie is what you hoped to see. And I still think there's untapped potential with Ellie De La Cruz, which is crazy to say. But we're talking 18 home runs, 55 RBIs. Right now, a whole bunch of stolen bases. He's cut down on the strikeout. So he, no doubt, is one. Abbott, for me, I think will get in as well. AR, can we find a third? He mentioned Friedel. You like Friedel? I'm in on that.
I mentioned Friedel. I don't have his stats in front of me, but I think he's breaking out, and I would love to see him get in there. He does a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's very good defensively, and he can do what needs to be done. He can hit for average. He can hit for power. Like I really think he could be it. The one guy that I would throw out to you, and maybe you can tell me where he is in saves, but where is Pagan as far as saves go? Because if he's top 3 or top 5, why can't we get him there?
He's got 18 on the year.
That should be right up there.
Off the top of my head, I don't know where that stacks up in the AL, but what he's done is infused a lot of confidence into the Reds team and into the fan base. I mean, AR, he is 4th in the entire league.
There you go.
In saves right now.
I'm going
over with Pagan in there.
Well, you know why? Because if I get Abbott and Ellie, then all I need is either Friedel or Pagan.
And I think that one of those will get in. So, I'm going to go over, too. Yeah, I like that.
And it's a shame, too, that Hunter Green's been dealing with injuries, or he, I think, would have been a slam dunk.
Well, yeah, but the good news is he's wearing the shirt that Maddie printed for him now while he's at home.
There you go.
I love that.
He's got some loungewear. It's the signature Matty Hayes loungewear.
Yeah.
I know Vegas is around there somewhere. He can jump in on these as well. He's got a headset, and he gave me this one, and I thought it was a great question. Cooper Flagg over under NBA MVPs in his career, half an MVP.
This is great because in the immediate, I don't see it in the next couple of years just because of how good their team will be around him. They're not asking him to come in and be the guy. So I think we are 2-3 years away from him having MVP caliber stats. And even when we get to that point, he's going to be fighting the likes of a Victor Wembanyama, of an Anthony Edwards, some of these young guys around the league. And so what is he right now, 19? I don't think 18, 19.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think
he reclassified, didn't he?
I believe he did. I don't think the real MVP seasons are coming for another 3 years. But I think he will get one in his career. It's just going to take a little bit of time for him to get to that statistic.
I'm going to say under, and that's not a slam on him. I just listen. He's a great player. He could fill up the stat sheet in so many ways. He just feels to me more of a Scottie Pippen type. I don't know if that's an MVP, but he's just a. Why were your eyes?
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that you're not taking
the over
just to get to one.
To get to
just
an MVP
in his career.
So you're saying he's Magic, he's Bird, he's that.
He doesn't
guy?
have to be that his entire career. We're talking one season.
I know, but
where he's that special.
I thought because you were steering me off it just because of the other guys you're competing with.
No, I'm talking about their roster right now. He's not going to be asked to do that, but I think when the Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving era is done, he can get to that. I'm averaging 25 a night, and I'm an absolute dog on defense too.
It's a little bit of a mental hedge. I want to see him do it. So I'll put the challenge out there, and I'll say close but no cigar.
Okay, so you're saying no MVP.
I'll say under
in
on
his
MVP.
entire career, and you're saying
career.
one MVP.
I think he can get one.
We set that number at a half. I think it's going to go over 1.5. I think he'll have multiple MVPs.
Okay.
Wilt Chamberlain.
All right, here's a fun one. Now, Kevin Durant technically is not a Rocket yet because the league year hasn't started. So he is a Sun until further notice, but that will be his 5th team. So I'm spotting you 5 already. Kevin Durant career teams over under 5.5.
So the question on the table is he going to retire in Houston?
Yep.
That's really what he's trying to say there with that over under. Which
that was a long way of saying, will Kevin Durant play for anybody besides Houston?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question.
Here's what I think, Eric, or unless you're ready.
Go ahead.
Here's what I think. I think there's going to be a bit of a reunion in Oklahoma City. I think he'll sign for 1 year with the Thunder. They're going to be really good the next couple of years. You can bring in KD. He can be that vet that's always going to be, I think, an offensive threat to a certain degree because of his size and shooting ability. So I'm going to go over. I think he will suit up for the Oklahoma City Thunder one more time and bring that thing full circle.
So the history. So this guy hasn't stayed with the team for anything more than 3 years.
Yeah.
It's his kind of. It's his motive. What I've read and what I believe could be two different things. I've read that both of them are committed to making this his final destination. That after they're going to do a contract extension, and that should take him to the end. That they're going to eventually this offseason discuss a contract extension. I'm going to bet on that, and I'm going to say he retires a Rocket.
Yeah, I'm with Maddie. I think he goes one more team. I do have one more question for you guys.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders over under half a start this year.
Over under 99 miles per hour.
Boy, when you said half,
you could have put that at over. You could have put that at
2.5,
4.5.
Yeah, really?
That probably would have took the over.
Oh my gosh! Okay, I'm surprised by that.
Who do you think's going to hold on to that job?
Gosh,
that's the question.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel. I don't know.
But even if it is Gabriel, does he hold on to it?
Yeah, probably not.
Because they have to find out what they have in those guys, and you have to give them, to me, more than a game or two.
If he doesn't start a game, you know what that means? They're making the playoffs. Like that
then
means
he's starting a game.
That means something was going so well for them at quarterback that he can't see the field.
How about
or at least as anything more than a mop-up.
Over under different quarterbacks to start for the Browns this year, 3.5.
Well, then that comes down to Flacco.
That means they're keeping all 4, and I don't think they're doing that. I'm going under. Because I think they're going in the week 1 with 3.
I think the smart money would be on the under that even if they hold on to 4 to start, Flacco becomes the let's not get him hurt so we could trade him.
Okay.
And so I'm going to take the under. All right.
And that was a fun round of overs and unders.
Yep. All right. Sports Center update here coming up top of the hour. And we'll reset at the top. We are live at the Westerville Firehouse for a great cause. You'll hear about that. And Joe Burrow says the best chance to win it all is by doing this. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Your neighborhood Kroger Pharmacy is happy to welcome back Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense Plan members. It's easy to transfer prescriptions at Kroger.com/payer update. See your Kroger Pharmacy for details.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
10 West Broad, Columbus. CordellCordell.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
I lost my brother.
I lost my sister.
I lost my best friend.
Each year, Ohio loses some of its best and brightest to train car accidents.
Everyone knows that crossing is bad.
Stop signs and crossbucks just aren't enough. How can you help? Report bad crossings at angelsontrack.org. That's angelsontrack.org. Because bad crossings kill good drivers. Sponsored by Angels on Track, aired by OAB and this station.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and you're determined to look beyond pills and steroids and surgery to feel your best, right? So I want to talk to the person who is in pain right now. Or maybe it's someone you love. You've done everything they told you to do, and the pain just keeps coming back. Hey, it's Tyvis Powell for QC Kinetics. They are different. These are not quick fixes. This is a revolutionary treatment that works to give your body long-term relief. You'll meet face-to-face with Dr. Aaron Wilkoff and the QC Kinetics medical team. They'll explain how their regenerative treatments take your body's own healing power and helps heal and restore your damaged tissue. These are well-respected protocols that include potent and powerful cellular level treatments. QC Kinetics has helped tens of thousands of people, so many of them right here in Columbus, Ohio. They'd be honored to help you as well. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Oh, I can't believe we blew a 5-touchdown lead.
Sure, but you got to feel like they were going to win for almost the entire game.
But I was about to buy playoff tickets.
So you were prepared for a good time. That's pretty nice.
It's the worst loss any team has ever had.
And you got to witness history.
Okay, we're done here.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22 pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie. This grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. After an off day yesterday, the Cincinnati Reds back in action this evening. They're starting a home series with the San Diego Padres at 7:10. Nick Martinez gets the start for Cincy. Dylan Cease for San Diego. Coverage over on ESPN Columbus gets underway at 6:40. The Cleveland Guardians welcome the St. Louis Cardinals to Progressive Field at 7:10. Luis Ortiz versus Sonny Gray, the pitching matchup. A lot of action in the NHL ahead of tonight's draft at 7. The NHL and NHLPA have agreed on a new CBA that runs through the 2030 season. The Columbus Blue Jackets have picks 14 and 20 in tonight's first round. Catch the Blue Jackets draft special tonight at 6 right here on The Fan. This one's sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, Pataskala, and always online at rcdrv.com. Breaking sports news as it happens on The Fan.
Hey, kids. Anthony once did magic for birthday parties. See, when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound so bad. Back to Rothman and Ice.
The second hour of the program here, Rothman and Ice, on a great Friday where we're trying to beat the heat. And you can help us. Maddie and I are out here at Station 111 in Westerville, and the wonderful first responders and firefighters here. What a team they have. The Iceman up on the big ladder.
Oh, yeah.
I'm steering the back of that thing, the caboose, and it is all for a great cause. We are collecting box fans at this location at 400 West Main Street here at the fire station. And if you're one of the first 100 donors, you'll get Cardale Jones softball tickets for the celebrity softball game July 19th at Huntington Park. And so it's very important. There are people that are so less fortunate that don't have the AC. They have pets they want to take care of and love, and you know how I feel about that as well. And they can't sweat. It's really tough to keep those animals cool. And the Fan can make such a big difference, and it's just so fulfilling to be able to help. And then Life Care Alliance will distribute those fans all summer long. So help us beat the heat, your neighbors, your community, for a great cause here on a Friday. And roll in, and we will be happy to talk with you and see you. And Maddie says you'll have to talk to him through that glass and that little speaker.
Yeah,
but
taking orders.
And you're not allowed to come in if you didn't bring a fan. So if you walked in here and just felt like you were going to be a part of the team, Fish, without a donation, we'll either send you out for lunch or a box fan. It's your choice.
Well,
dealer's choice.
It's awesome, man. It's a great cause. So happy to be out here. Really great hospitality so far. So, yeah, looking forward to the next 2 hours. We got a prize to give away, though, right now, AR, because we got to handle some in-house stuff. Winner receives a family 4-pack of tickets to the Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals, July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center. 614-821-9710 is our hotline number. Previously in Party Like a Rock Star, not Party Like a Rock Star, in Overs and Unders, we were talking Cooper Flagg and the MVPs for him in the future. Cooper Flagg, the number one pick in the draft. TLC, I'm making this easy for you. Caller number 1 will get the ticket to the Good Guys event. Again, 614-821-9710 is our hotline number. You get it right, you'll get a family 4-pack of tickets to the Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals, July 11th through the 13th at the Ohio Expo Center.
You could have made it 2 just to match his jersey number.
There you go.
At Duke. Or we could have made it like 22 and really put it on TLC.
Just to keep hitting that.
Just to
stay on that hotline all freaking
everybody's
day. Yeah,
calls.
no doubt. I love it.
You know, why make it easy on him? Joe Burrow is trying to make it easy on his team. It's weird, Matty. Bengals leaning into this. We've already seen it.
Yeah.
But I think that this quote from Joe Burrow, as you have, will really illustrate what this has been about for Cincinnati. And I know Joe is saying all the right things, that Trey Hendrickson needs to be signed and they want guys in camp. But what's the most important thing to him is what he got.
Is lighting up the scoreboard and continuing to do that, because now we got Joey B saying the Bengals' best chance of success is the offense reaching another level. And that's very honest. It's very real, because he knows.
Right, though.
It may not be right, but I think he knows, looking around OTAs and minicamp, like, oh, man, like we're going to have to put the squad on our back again this year, because the uncertainty right now with Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart is one thing, but it's also a new defensive coordinator, and that's a massive change. It's a massive change for defense. Even if they had a whole bunch of vets outside of Trey Hendrickson you knew that you could rely on, when you're changing a system, man, there's a lot of moving pieces there. So for Joey B, I don't mind him saying that, because I think it's the reality of their situation, is that they may have to do more, which is crazy to think based off how good he was leading the league in passing yards last year. The touchdowns were through the roof and all of that stuff. Is it the best path for them or any team? Probably not, but you can only do so much with the guys that they have, and I just don't think in the blink of an eye that defense is going to be worlds better than what we saw a year ago. I think there's a chance to where they could level up in a small way in this year, but getting them into a top 10 defense or anything like that, I'm not seeing it. And so Joey B, Jamar, Chase Brown, T. Higgins, those guys are going to have to be really electric again this year if they're going to be in the mix.
I'm a little surprised that TLC didn't drop a gong there. It's a little bit of a humble brag by Burrow, and that they can level up. I mean, he had kind of a Hall of Fame year last year, and the fact that he said, don't worry, we can level up a little higher here, and I can score more, throw more touchdowns and all that. We have our PD here, Fish, and how does he end every meeting with us, man? All those
Get the hell out.
Yeah, that, exactly. And then all those meetings that you complain about, how many meetings, we won't get into that on the over-unders. Like another meeting, I think is your quote. But how does he end every meeting? He ends it with, what do you need to do? What do you need to do your job better? And the front office of the Cincinnati Bengals keeps doing the counter to that. They keep preventing the team from being everything they can be. Now, you can say that Hendrickson signed the deal, and I'm all for that, but this is not the way the NFL works. He's done it 2 years in a row. This wasn't a one-hit wonder. Mm-hmm. He didn't catch lightning in a bottle, and he's just completely nothing close to what he is. He now has the numbers to prove it. They should be able to come to a compromise. Now, I say that not knowing what he's asking for. I don't. So I can't come all the way to, well, the Bengals are being cheap again, and this is who they are. Now, they have a bad track record. The only predictive deal on future history is past history, and they have a bad one when it comes to this. But if they're going to lean into the offense, and I said this earlier, if the best defense is a great offense, and that's the slogan they want to go with, at least they have the personnel to do it. Yeah. It's one thing to be able to say it. It's another thing to be able to do it. They can do it. But this was a team that was – we talked about their scoring before. It's not about, to me, what's the likelihood of them repeating the year they just had offensively? I guess it's fairly likely, but if you absolutely need to have it, like 100% that has to happen again, it's a little bit of a dangerous game to play and not try to compliment your football team defensively. It's just one of those things that if you're going to win the Super Bowl, and that's who we judge them against, it's not just making the playoffs for them.
Yeah, it's about holding up that Lombardi trophy. You're absolutely right, because they've got a quarterback that's capable of doing it with his skill set. This has been building, though, over the last few years. When you talk about the defense fading away the way that it has, and you look at a Jesse Bates who leaves and goes down to Atlanta and is still playing high-end football and still really cleaning things up on the back end as an elite safety, and then you look at some of the draft picks that they've made on defense, and have they really hit on guys that they've spent high-end draft capital on, specifically a guys like Myles Murphy. When you're in this window with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and you're paying high-end dollars at those positions, what you need to do as a front office is identify right now talent that can help you sustain that safe floor and that high ceiling that they've had. So you look around on defense, and the guys that have gone on to other teams, like a DJ Reader, like a Von Bell, like a Jesse Bates, and Jermaine Pratt is now out of the equation right now. But they've lost vets that were solid players night in and night out, And then the guys that you tried to infuse into the mix that were young, that were supposed to be talented, you haven't really hit on those. And that Myles Murphy whiff was a big one. And to me right now, it is a whiff. Not that it can't change, but they haven't got any good return consistently from Myles Murphy. And so that would have been such a big deal if that guy turned into a player that you know you can count on. So you have that as a question mark. You lose Sam Hubbard. They just had so many moving pieces in a bad way on defense that have really hurt this team and really capped, I think, who they can truly be.
Your team, the Baltimore Ravens, gets away with this. They're not good against the pass.
No.
But they're the best team in the NFL against the run.
Yeah.
So they have some complementary football. Because I started looking at Cincinnati and how bad really were they last year defensively. And they lost some shootouts to some very good teams. You win a couple of those, you're in the playoffs.
Yep.
So I agree with people that say they're not that far away. I've heard people say that. But they weren't that far away with Trey Hendrickson. So if somehow and he knows that. So whatever leverage he's playing, he's probably doing it right, but he's doing it with the wrong team. This team's not going to fold to him. That front office is not going to fold to him, I don't believe. If they wanted to fold, they would have done it already.
Yeah.
So either he's asking for way too much because he's not Nick Bosa, or they're not willing to even get close to where they think his numbers prove that he should be. But the Cincinnati Bengals are not horrible. They're not like last in the league in both categories. The problem is they're bottom third in both. You could pull that off because you are so good against the run, and you have an offense that can.
You got to take something away.
Yes,
you have to take
and
something away.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Is that they just aren't good or really good at anything defensively except getting after the quarterback with Trey Hendrickson.
Right.
And he's the guy they're not paying.
Right. And the reason why they're not paying him is because there's a lot of different reasons. I think one of the headline reasons as to why that's not happening is because of his age, right? And I think if this were a guy that was 20, even 28 right now, AR, this discussion, I think, would be a non-discussion, and they would have had a deal done. Hopefully they get something done in the coming weeks because regardless of where he is in age, I think over the next 2 to 3 years he can be productive, and it shouldn't be solely on Trey Hendrickson over the next couple seasons to be a dude. He's got to do his part, but that room around him needs to level up. Like those guys, to me, it's put up or shut up time for Osai, Murphy, Shamar Stewart, because that's the future of this team. And if you could have those guys turn into something to pair with what your defense, your offense will be in the coming years, then you're on to something, because then they will be able to control the line of scrimmage on defense and get the ball back to Joey B when those teams are trying to chase them after all the points they're probably going to put up week in and week out.
They're not the greatest team to kind of play chicken with. They're just not, especially defensively, because it's not their priority.
Right.
And so their philosophy has changed. It's even changed with the quarterback. If the quarterback is saying that publicly, I can't quite tell whether he's saying it because he's just accepting reality or if he's trying to halfway call out the front office. I just don't know which way, because that's not.
It may be both.
Yeah.
It may be both, because I think the former is what's really in his mind. And if we got Joey B off the record like, hey, Joey B, you really believe that this defense is going to level up? He'd probably be like, no, I'm not saying it right now. And so he and Jamar T know, like, we got to go into these games and probably get to 24 points minimum against the elite teams in the league to really get this thing done. Because when you're playing Josh Allen and you're playing Lamar and you're playing Jaden Daniels and these guys, right, you know those guys are electric. And so we got to do our part, because if not, the other team's just going to be going up and down the field. And if we're giving the ball back to Josh Allen and Lamar time and time again, then we're in trouble, because our defense probably is not going to help us out.
Listen, that offense, that core has a chance to make a deep playoff run every year. They've proven they can play the Chiefs tough. They can play the Ravens tough.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they can compete with the best.
They can beat anybody.
They can.
Yeah.
And when you have a franchise quarterback publicly wagging his finger in the face of the front office, he's already been paid, so he can do it. Mm-hmm. And he might be confident that the reality is that he's the guy to make it happen and they can do this. It's just a little weird that he went so publicly to bat for his guy T. Higgins,
yet
he's not doing it for Trey. And maybe he either believes that that's not the way to go, or he's just accepting reality. It's because that front office listened to his advice when it came to Higgins.
As they should have.
Yeah.
They should have listened to his advice, because you have one of the most elite units on offense in the entire sport. And I don't think you want to rip that away from Joey B. You want to build off of that. But the give and take in this is, well, the questions on defense are still there, and your asset management is it's in question because of what you did. That's the domino effect now.
We're going to come back with Pressure Cooker. Find out who goes in this weekend. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
One of the things I had decided when I started the company was we were going to build the best window possible. We were going to give the best service possible, and I think we've accomplished that. Our reputation is built on taking care of people and building a great window and then taking care of it afterwards. It's just a darn good window.
See for yourself. Visit RossatiWindows.com.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. I wish I had an update to our forecast, but it remains the same. We'll have chances of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon into the early evening. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny skies. Highs in the mid to low 90s, and our feels like in triple digits in some spots. For tonight, lows down into the 70s, and then for Saturday, a little bit cooler. Highs in the upper 80s, but we will see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Otherwise, mostly to partly sunny skies. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Sponsored by 3D Cabinetry. 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability.
All right, a little pressure cooker time. I'm going to lead off with putting a little pressure on myself to win a damn bet. Last night, I decided to lean into the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark, saying, hey, we don't have our star. Let's have something to prove at home.
Yeah.
I think they were up 8 or 9 going into the fourth, and they thought the game was over. And then the Sparks rolled them in like the last 2 minutes of the game. I don't have the final here. I turned it off because it was a tie game with like 3 minutes to go, and then they just got rolled. So there you go. There's my history of betting the WNBA.
Lost by 10.
Lost by 10. And they just going away, Matt. The score did not indicate the end of the game. I was watching. It's like there were 2 minutes left in the game. That thing was tied.
Okay.
But they just got blasted, and they were up 8 or 9 going into the fourth, I believe.
Yeah.
And so a little pressure on myself to kind of hit a parlay later today, maybe, or tonight with baseball. But I have to, step aside from WNBA betting unless somebody has some insight for me. I'm done. I thought, and I think there was something at the end of the game, Maddie, where it was either Kelsey Plum, somebody trying to bait Clark into a tee on the bench or something.
Really?
The WNBA is...
They've been a little spicy
I don't
this
think
year.
They're trying to do this purposely, but it's coming off that way.
Yeah.
And now I got to win a bet to keep watching. I'm not going to keep throwing away money on the WNBA.
I hear you.
That's the pressure that's on.
First candidate for me, I am going with the one and only Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg, to me, is in a highly, highly pressure-packed situation now in Dallas just because of the team expectations and where they are. They expect to be in the postseason. When they get Kyrie Irving back, we shall see. I have no idea whether that's going to be January, February, March, no clue, but he's dealing with a significant injury, so he's going to be out for a long period of time. But at their core, it's still Anthony Davis. It's still Klay Thompson, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, guys that have been there and done that. And so when you're the number 1 overall pick and you've been tabbed as a, quote, generational talent, which we will wait and see if he is that, he's got to go right now. I don't think he's got to come in and average 20 or anything like that, but I do think he needs to be right around that 15 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds kind of stat line in year one, because they don't expect to just fall off without Luka. They think the core that they have can have Dallas in the mix and possibly be a contender based off of how good Cooper Flagg is. So if he would have gone to a bad team, I really don't think there would have been a ton of pressure in year one. Because he has gone to a good team and a good franchise, I'm putting the pressure on Cooper Flagg, AR. He's got to go in year one and be a dude for the Mavericks.
Maddie, I'm going to put the pressure on a team that I believe you liked before the year. 16 games to the break now, and this team is leading the league in underachieving, in my mind. They're 2 games below 500, and they're 4th in their own division, and they've lost 5 in a row.
I know who it is.
I'm talking about the Boston Red Sox.
Yep.
Now, they ended the Rafael Devers drama by getting rid of him.
He gone.
Because their franchise player wouldn't play first base. It sounds like a high school problem. Yeah. This is a team that added Bregman, who's been great but not available enough. He was out for a month. Now he's on the DL. Crochet's been phenomenal, but he's getting no run support. And who else? Walker Buehler. He's had a brutal June. I mean, awful. His ERA is up to 12. They're a mid-team in the AL, and they're chasing this season big time. And the pressure to go on a run before the break, I think, is real. So the Bo Sox are in it.
I like it. Second candidate for me, I'm staying in the state of Texas and talking about another basketball player. And I'm talking about Kevin Durant. I'm talking about KD, because now you're the guy. They made a move, that being the Houston Rockets, a move to where they think in their mind, now we're ready. Now we're ready. And the reason they feel that way is because of the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant. The structure around him, I think, is awesome. Now you're KD, and you're going into that building every single night and saying, okay, I don't have to guard the other team's best player. There's enough offense around me to where I won't see a ton of double teams, triple teams, and things like that. He's going to see his fair share, but I don't think it's going to be at a crazy level. And so KD can he stay healthy? At this point in his career, that has been a question mark more times than not. But when he's out there on the floor, the guy continues to deliver. But the Houston Rockets have been a top 4 or 5 seed in the West over the last year or two, and now they have a championship-ready head coach, in my opinion, Ime Udoka, who signed to a long-term deal, and Kevin Durant is the guy that they're going to look to now to bring them the goods and bring them a deep playoff run. If he's healthy, I think he can do it because of Amen Thompson, because of Alperen Şengün, and the dudes that they have that are young, that are hungry, that are going to bring energy and do all those things that KD may not want to do on a nightly basis anymore. So I'm going KD, AR, the former Texas Longhorn, back in the state of Texas. He's on the pressure list now as a Houston Rocket.
All right, last one for me is a guy I like. He's playing this week in Detroit. He's Colin Morikawa. He's a guy who is so due for a win. He's also a guy that's hoisted a claret jug in the past, which is coming up, obviously, the British Open. But he ranks outside the top 100 in strokes gained putting. He's had 2 caddy changes in a year. And now he's fighting with the media over stories. One reporter who was given the brush off because Morikawa wanted to be left alone during a Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a big fan of his game. He's no longer the guy that maybe a lot of people are rooting for. But here's the deal. You're the 5th-ranked player in the world. You got no wins this year. He's making cuts and making cash, which is fine. But the pressure is building on and off the course. And he's standing up for himself, I believe, over nothing. An article that was written that kind of painted him, I thought, fairly favorable. He was at a Pro-Am. He told the reporter he'd be available later for questions. He had to focus with the Pro-Am guys. Literally makes him look like a good guy, thought. Then the reporter had to wait 2.5 hours. Here's the weird part. I can't figure out who's the sensitive one, the media or Morikawa. And I think the more I read, it's more of that Morikawa is feeling it. He's been asked about the caddy changes, and there's pressure on him. He's not just a name. He's the 5th-ranked player in the world. Yeah. And I just think that he's getting in his own way a little bit. Okay. I think he's feeling some pressure.
Last one for me. I'm going with the Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers going into last year, you make that big splash move to bring in Paul George. In-house already is Tyrese Maxey, MVP, and Joel Embiid. We just didn't get to see those guys play because of injuries all of last year. But that core on paper looks really good on paper. That's all it is on paper. But we know when those 3 guys are right, they can ball with the best of them. And then you come out of the first round of the NBA draft this week, and you add VJ Edgecombe to this from Baylor, who is a really, really good guard, high-energy guy, good athleticism, could dunk on guys if you need him to. He can do a whole bunch of different things. But the landscape of the Eastern Conference has really been flipped on its head because of injuries. Tyrese Halliburton won't be around for a very long time. Maybe we'll miss the entirety of next season. Same thing can be said for Jason Tatum and Damian Lillard. So the Philadelphia 76ers have what can be the best player in any given series and the best player in the world when he is right on any given night, and that is Joel Embiid. And when you start from there, you got a chance to do good things in the NBA, and then around him, I think, is still a good team. But the Philadelphia 76ers got to cash in on some type of success next year, because if it's not next year, I don't know when it's going to happen. So Philly, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and the gang over there, they're on the pressure list.
All right, all in the cooker for this weekend and beyond. We come back in 2 minutes, and we're joined by Jensen Lewis. We'll toss some chin music. The Reds' new stud. What can we hope for in the future? He'll tell us next. We are live at the Beat the Heat event. We're in Westerville at the fire station, 400 West Main Street. Come by, drop off a fan for people in need. You'll get a free ticket to the Cardell Jones softball game coming up in July. And we're with Chief Miller and his team. Come by, say hi, donate, and help us beat the Heat on the Fan.
Matty Ice here. When I needed a new Chevy, I headed to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP on a 25 Silverado LD. They've got no market adjustments, no hidden costs, and sales managers are on the floor ready to help. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Crowd the plate at your own risk. It's time for some chin music with former big leaguer and president of the Bald is Beautiful fan club, Jensen Lewis.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, welcome back in. We love talking baseball with our guy, Jensen Lewis, former Tribe hurler, multi-Emmy award-winning sports host, VSiN Live, MLB Network Radio, and a lot more. Joins us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems bullpen phone line. Good to have you, my man.
Hi, boys. How are we?
We're doing great. I want to get your quick feeling on the debut of Chase Burns. The number 2 pick in last year's MLB draft, going up against the Yanks. You know what that's all about. I love that little leg whip he's got. Give me your assessment. I don't want to be too crazy about it, and you certainly don't want to crush the kid either. But he looked good. He looked the part.
Oh, my. Historic start, right? Punch out the first 6 guys you face, or at least the first 6 outs you record. And I jumped on him. As soon as I found out he was coming up, I jumped on him at 20-1 to win National League Rookie of the Year. And you find him now, of course, I think second or third to Jacob Mizorowski in single digits and really much shorter odds at this point. I think overall, AR, and I'm sure Matty is excited to see this too, you now legitimately have not only the future in the present, if you will, from this rotation with Burns and Lodolo and Abbott, but once you get Hunter Green healthy and back here to go along with Brady Singer, all of a sudden it gives this Reds front office an opportunity to deal from an area of strength where Nick Martinez could potentially be dangled there as a trade chip to help in other areas of the ball club. So I think first and foremost, you want him to get through, meaning Chase Burns, you want him to get through his next handful of turns in the rotation and not only healthy but also effective, and that will kind of further your options here as the Reds not only in the race here for the division and a playoff spot, but very much alive in this National League picture.
J. Lou, if they are going to make moves right around the deadline, what would you like to see them acquire? What type of player or players would you like to see them bring in?
Yeah, I think the easy answer, Matty, is the back end of the bullpen. And again, knowing what potential teams you'd be going up against in not only August and September to get to the postseason, but if you do make it, it's all about generating swing and miss. And outside of Emilio Pagan, maybe Tony Santillan, there's not too much you can hang your hat on at this point as far as that aspect of their bullpen. So Terry Francona, well-versed after seeing what he had to work with in Cleveland. He knows exactly the resources that you need to not only compete down the stretch, but to make your way through an October race that on the National League side looks like it'll be as daunting as it gets. But I think that would be my focus. And you guys have seen enough baseball at the Great American Launching Pad in July and August. Plenty of offense abounding no matter what you have. So I think they would focus on the bullpen and then look if they can find, some depth options there off the bench or maybe even the back end of the rotation as well.
Jose Ramirez, I used to, and a lot of people did, called him underrated. And now it feels like everybody considers him one of the best third basemen in Major League Baseball. Is he regularly talked about enough in your circles? Usually a lot of people say he's underrated, and look at what he's done lately. I mean, he got to 900 RBIs. There's a really good chance he's going to tie the natural Jim Thome for second most in franchise history. Am I wrong about this? Is he still underrated in kind of the big picture of MLB analysts, or no?
I don't think so anymore. And just knowing what has been illuminated probably the last 3 to 4 years of not much being around him, AR, as far as legitimate help, maybe outside of Josh Naylor in the last 3 to 4 years, I think just overall the dynamic that he has from both sides of the plate, one of the great switch hitters of the modern era, the power, the ability to slug, the defense, the base running, it's a total package. So now that Rafi Devers has moved on to, the National League, I don't know if there's really anyone that holds too much weight next to him as far as third baseman in the American League. And I think to that point, too, guys, when you think about all the way around, some of the names that you'd look at just from an American League perspective, primary position being third base, second best as far as wins above replacement, just saying it, is Ernie Clement, ironically, with the Toronto Blue Jays. And, Isaac Paredes is there with the Astros. But it's a pretty – and Junior Caminero has come on a little bit. That would be the only guy, I think, now in the next handful of seasons that could really challenge him at third in the American League. But I think far and away the respect he deserves is certainly there at the present.
All right. You and I took a very famous picture outside of Brown Stadium with Jim Brown when we went up there. Is Jose Ramirez going to be on the statue future for that club?
I would say that it's not a matter of if, AR, it's a matter of when. And he, in all likelihood, if he finishes out the length of this contract, he will be the franchise leader in most consequential offensive categories. And if he finds a way to get this team to a World Series, it's just a matter of the first year when they want to do it and they get the approval, it'll be there. And if he's still playing, I think it would be appropriate to do it too. I mean, he's as impactful position player that we've had in this organization's history, and the statistics will back it up by the time he's all said and done.
So Feller, Thome, Boudreaux,
Frank
Lewis.
Robinson. Yep.
Lewis, no, I'm kidding. And Ramirez. Exactly. I don't know who's going to get theirs first. I really don't know.
Jayla, let's talk a little bit about this AL MVP race, because Aaron Judge is still doing Aaron Judge things, but Cal Raleigh, the catcher for the Seattle Mariners, has been out of his mind. It just seems like every night this guy is hitting a home run. His chances, they feel real, but long term, do you think Cal Raleigh is going to do enough to clip Aaron Judge and knock him off that AL MVP throne?
Yeah, the fan in me, Matty, wants it to happen, right? You want a true race all the way to the end, and I think he has not only the home runs and the RBI at the moment where he's leading Aaron Judge, that being Cal Raleigh, but it is the expectation of, he's basically doing two things at once every day and having to handle the pitching staff behind the plate. So that in of itself, I hope, is a large weight on the minds of those that have a vote. Conversely, Aaron Judge is still putting up ridiculous numbers, and if you were ever going to look at someone who could flourish into the second half of his season, it would be Judge. And so just from a wear and tear perspective, how long Can Cal Raleigh keep this up? I hope he does. Shout out, honorable mention to Jeremy Pena right now, who has, I think, a 4 flat wins above replacement, and he's right behind Judge and Raleigh with the production that he's done from the leadoff spot for the Astros this year. But just think about this, guys. Aaron Judge at one point was a $60 favorite to win the American League MVP. He's all the way back down to about minus 900. So it is closed in a massive way. But I think Cal Raleigh would probably, Maddie, have to get to that 50 home run threshold and probably into the 120s in RBI. He's at 69 now, just a couple of games before the halfway point. I think he's got to get there offensively if, he's going to be in that same realm as Aaron Judge.
Real quick, I wanted to ask you about what we saw unfold yesterday in Cleveland between the Blue Jays and the Guardians, where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. gets hit, I believe, a couple times in the game, and then J-Ram gets clipped for the Guardians. Do you think that was retaliation there since, our guy's star player gets hurt, we're coming after your star player?
100%, and I don't blame either side, for kind of how the reactions were. First and foremost, you got to defend your guy, and I believe that what Kevin Gausman did was well warranted. He should have done that, and again, it really is one of those situations where eye for an eye. That's old school baseball right there, but it was handled in the first pitch when Gausman went after Ramirez. It was below the neck. It was in a spot where you were going to make an impact. They certainly did. You're not doing this to injure anyone. You're doing it to send a message, and I think both sides warranted for their responses.
Jensen Lewis with us, Chin Music, every Friday at this time. We'll end on this one. As a pitcher, you may not agree with this, but is the ghost runner the best rule change in MLB history? It feels like for the fans, they certainly love it. It creates scoring. It eliminates those 18-inning games. It creates more walk-off possibilities. We had one with the Reds against the Yanks earlier in the week. It gives, obviously, a huge advantage to the home team, certainly, but give me your take on that. As a pitcher, you obviously hate it. You start with a runner on second base, but have you enjoyed this rule change for baseball?
As a broadcaster, for sure. The automatic runner being what it is, the strategy involved, I think, is even better when you see how different managers and different clubs analyze it and how they attack it. And into arbitration cases and free agency cases, those things are fleshed out so that it's not, effective for guys' career earnings, things of that nature. I've told you guys, it's so hard to get on and to get a hit as a major league hitter, let alone you're going to put a guy in scoring position automatically. I think I've told you, if I've not, how I would revise those, extra inning rules would be in the 10th inning, you get one extra inning of just normal baseball. In the 11th inning, if it gets there, you put a runner automatically at first. And then if you get to a 12th inning, you put a runner at second. I think there could be compromise there. But what do I know, guys? I was just a guy that went 13 for 13 in saves in big-time leverage situations.
Pitch clock, has that been good?
Love it. Oh, my God.
Okay.
It never would have affected me, guys. I was in and out. I wanted to go see our guys swing the bat. So the quicker I could get in and watch a score runs, the better.
Well done, my man. Have an awesome weekend.
Likewise, boys.
Thank you, Jensen Lewis, all over it, all the time on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems bullpen phone line. We are out here at the Westerville Fire Station, Station 111, 400 West Main Street, beating the heat, the drive. We've had some wonderful people just stop by. Karen, a loyal listener, came by with a fan about 15, 20 minutes ago, and a father and daughter just dropped off a fan to the fish man out there. So, by the way, he's manning the station out there. So not only do you get to drop off a fan and really be part of the community and donating, you get the free ticket to the Cardell Jones softball game, but then you get to
sweaty hug from our program director.
Meet the fish. Yeah. Exactly. The fish that saved Columbus or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's another part of this.
Back at the station, you can help out as well by bringing fans at 10 TV and the fan studios. And today, LA Catering will be there from 4 to 6:30. And if you drop off a fan, you will get a hot dog as well. Uncle Dom Taberry will be doing his TV hits live from the station as well outside. So if you can't make it up here, don't worry. You can help out the cause as well by stopping by 10 TV and the fan studios and dropping off a fan over there as well.
As we like to say on this show, the Glaze-a-Palooza continues. as we preview Ohio State football, and why not? Coming off a natty, but one analyst is really high on this player. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Try the new 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on 18-ounce containers of blueberries or 12-ounce containers of raspberries. Right now, they're only $3.77 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
I lost my brother.
I lost my sister.
I lost my best friend.
Each year, Ohio loses some of its best and brightest to train car accidents.
Everyone knows that crossing is bad.
Stop signs and crossbucks just aren't enough. How can you help? Report bad crossings at angelsontrack.org. That's angelsontrack.org. Because bad crossings kill good drivers. Sponsored by Angels on Track, aired by OAB and this station.
Join the Fan weeknights at 6 for the Buckeye Show. And if you're asking if it's just a bunch of homers rooting for all things Ohio State, yes it is. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Holding. Defense.
The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next-day air installation.
All right, certainly in the Buckeye Bulletin, we'll be talking about your Ohio State Buckeye football team and what they can be this year coming off a national title. And when you list top prospects overall, especially, eventually going to the NFL in the 2026 NFL draft, there's no surprise that Caleb Downs is going to be right at the top of the rankings. And it's pretty amazing that Ohio State, and I'd have to check on this, Maddie. I think they're top 3 all-time in NFL draft picks. I mean, they just keep rolling in how many picks they produced. And I'm sure USC and Notre Dame and maybe even Bama they've got to be up there. But Ohio State is certainly at the top right now. And whether it's wide receiver U or what they've provided from that area. But with Caleb Downs, there's just a difference maker there at the back end. And Todd McShay and Steve Mensch were talking about this on the Todd McShay Show. And he said that Caleb Downs has the best instincts since your guy. Your guy. Let's hear it.
I think he has the best instincts and recognition skills of any defensive back I've evaluated since
2002.
2002. Okay.
Yep.
Now, it was early in my scouting career at that point, but I remember distinctly being like, this cat's different. And then you hear about like the Tom Brady and the Peyton Manning stories of like they had him beat. There's no way. Like there's no way. And then like have them like after the fact go like, what did you see, man? What did you see? Now, like I'm not running away with this thing and being like he's the next Ed Reed, definitely. But I am saying like there's some things that stood out on tape about him with his instincts and recognition.
Yeah, and we saw all those things to our amateur eyes last year watching the games on the couches on Saturdays. I mean, this guy down in the SEC, freshman of the year. You transfer up to another Mount Rushmore program in Columbus, and you're the Big Ten defensive back of the year. Unanimous All-American. He's everything that you want as a playmaker on the back end of your defense as a safety. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the power, he's got the brain and the knowledge to know this is where I need to be, this is what they're trying to do to us as a defense. And I'm taking that away. Nick Saban spoke so highly of this guy, and he talked about his mental makeup. And this is a guy in Nick Saban that we know has coached some great defensive players and compared him to a guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick. So you got a guy in Todd McShay who's been evaluating talent for years and years that sees a little Ed Reed in his game, and you got a guy in Nick Saban that compares him to a guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick. If he is one of those guys, he is going to be a heck of a player in the NFL. He is going to be Caleb Downs. He's going to make a name for himself. And I think whatever NFL team drafts him next year is getting an absolute monster. But before we even get to that, these college offenses and college quarterbacks around the league are going to have a nightmare to deal with on the back end, because the game for him now just has to be at a point to where it's so slowed down that his skill set is going to go to a whole nother level, which is just scarier, because the mental part of the game for him at the college level, you're not going to throw things at him that are going to get him off his game. And so he's just going to be able to fly around and not think very much. And when you have a player with that skill set that's not doing much thinking, that's when greatness comes into play.
I think Matt Patricia's going to like him. I think he decided to come here for a reason. That may be a big one. He's versatile. Free slot corner in the box wherever you need him. He can help and run support. I know you love him as a punt returner as well.
No. I'm off that. Look, Caleb Downs, he is an awesome safety. Let's have him play safety. Ohio State, when you have so much talent the way that they do, there's got to be anybody else that can do that job. That's just always been my thing. I know what the coaches would tell me. It's got a little bit of that high school star quarterback vibe where you want the quarterback, he's your best athlete, to play that position and play defense too. I understand it. I just don't like it. Like last year, think about what we saw in that Penn State game to where Caleb Downs gets into a matchup and he's like, you know what, I can stick Tyler Warren. Like, that's what I want him to focus on, are those type of matchups, because you mentioned his position versatility, and it's a very real thing. And that's just an awesome chess piece to have on any defense. Like my Ravens have a guy like Kyle Hamilton, who was awesome at Notre Dame. He's been great in the NFL. I think Caleb Downs is cut from that same cloth. So you're right. Matt Patricia's got to be licking his chops to do some great things with Caleb Downs in the fall.
Well, and he's not the only one, right? If they go with these 3 safety packages this year, you're going to have other guys.
Yeah.
We like Malik Hartford a lot, and certainly Jalen McClain. Those guys are going to be able to really have a great mentor in Caleb and follow his lead a little bit. But, boy, they've got it on the back end, and it starts with him for sure.
No doubt.
All right, that is today's Buckeye Bulletin. We will be coming back live from the fire station here in Westerville at 400 West Main Street. If you'd like to donate a box fan, we'll give you some tickets to the Cardell Jones softball game, but just know that you are helping us and helping the community. It's been a great drive here, and it's a beautiful firehouse. Obviously, the doors are open, the trucks can be seen, and we have creamed and buffed those trucks with a fine chamois today. Maddie was up on the ladder. I was steering that baby from the booth in the back, and it's been an outstanding day. So help us beat the heat. We'll come back with a deep dive. Which quarterback now feels the most pressure to take down Mahomes? We'll hit it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Get ready to rock. Soft, that is. Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents Yacht Rock Symphony, Saturday, June 28th, featuring all your favorite 70s and 80s super yacht rock hits on one stage with Ambrosia.
You're the biggest part of me.
Joined by John Ford Coley.
And I'd really love to see it tonight.
And Peter Beckett, the voice of Player. Don't miss this incredible night of hits, ending with a brilliant display of fireworks. June 28th at the Columbus Commons. For tickets, visit picnicwiththepops.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Colin Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I have been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The NHL draft gets underway tonight at 7 with the first round. The Columbus Blue Jackets have pick 14 and 20 tonight. The CBJ were rumored to be in trade talks with the New York Islanders for defenseman Noah Dobson. In the past 15 minutes, he has been traded to the Montreal Canadiens. The Jackets did re-sign forward Hunter McCown this morning to a 1-year, 2-way contract. Catch the Blue Jackets draft special tonight at 6 right here on The Fan. After an off day yesterday, the Cincinnati Reds back in action tonight. They're starting a home series with the San Diego Padres at 7:10. Nick Martinez makes the start for Cincinnati. Dylan Cease for San Diego. Coverage on ESPN Columbus gets underway at 6:40. And the Cleveland Guardians welcome the St. Louis Cardinals to Progressive Field at 7:10. Luis Ortiz makes the start for Cleveland. Sonny Gray gets the ball for St. Louis.
Anthony once got Jack Nicklaus to quote the movie Caddyshack, so he's got that going for him.
The last time I saw a mouth like that, I had a hook.
Which is nice. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Let's go while we're young.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice, live remote today for a great cause. We have a lot of people at the station at the Fan, collecting fans to the Fan.
Yep.
We are beating the heat, trying to help the community and people that are less fortunate that need to cool down their homes. And we are at Fire Station 111, 400 West Main Street. Won't throw too many numbers at you, but that's the big one, 400 West Main Street. Roll on by, drop off a fan.
Yeah.
We'll give you some free tickets, and we will sing your praises all day on the air. And I'll tell you, Chief Brian Miller and his team here have welcomed us in. They've let us get in the truck, climb the ladders.
Yeah.
And just be a part of it. So we feel so welcomed. And these first responders, if anyone missed the interview we did with Chief Miller in the first 15 minutes of the show, I really suggest you hop on the podcast and listen to it. The guy's a pro, first responder, his entire team, the challenges they face. You think about what this city had to face last weekend with the fire tanker explosion and then that home explosion up north. The dangers that these men and women step into every day on a moment's notice. They don't come in knowing they're going to have a tough day. They expect it, and they meet that challenge. So this is a very small part of being associated with their team. And then Life Care Alliance will take it from there, and they'll take the fans and distribute them to the people that need.
Yeah, so thankful for the men and women and what they do. It's very honorable, man. So much respect there goes out to them. And this is something, AR, that the folks can do all summer, right? You can bring fans to your local Franklin County fire stations, wherever you're at, get to one, drop off a fan, and it's going to go to a good cause. So we're out here in Westerville, as AR mentioned, but if you can't make it out this way, you can go down to the station because they've got food down there for you. LA Catering is in the house. They're serving up hot dogs. So you drop off a fan between 4 and 6:30 today. You will get a hot dog. Dom Taberi will be outside doing some TV hits, so I'm sure he would love to see you. And again, all this is rooted in something tremendous and just trying to help out the less fortunate. So whatever you can do in the form of bringing a fan to either where we are today or stop on by the studio, you'll have some extra time when we hop off the air to get it done as well. We'd greatly appreciate it.
I was watching Get Up this morning, as I usually do, and kind of cherry pick a little bit off of some stuff they're talking about. And one of them was the quarterback that feels the most pressure to take down Mahomes. And the unanimous decision was Josh Allen. And so you can go through the usual suspects, and certainly it's Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. The interesting part about it is Joe Burrow was kind of an afterthought. I think it really just came down to Lamar or Josh. Mm-hmm. They've been close. They've had technically maybe more complete teams. But the irony of it all is the Bengals have been the closest. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that have been in the Super Bowl most recently. Now, I know what they're saying with Josh Allen because he does so much with his running ability, Lamar as well. And so it made me think that why would Josh Allen, maybe it's recency off of the MVP. That could be a big part of it.
Yeah.
Because if you take the MVP out of the equation, I feel like Lamar has been there longer, done it longer, been as successful, and has that playoff record that he's trying to get out from under. They're all trying to get out of that Marino Club, which is on the list of best ever never to win one. And maybe this is the year. It feels like this is the year, but every time I keep coming back to and I've said this only because Kansas City and Matty won so many one-score games, you think like that has to tilt at some point. And then you hear guys like Tannenbaum and guys on ESPN say that Kansas City is actually going to be better, that they've shored up some things on the offensive line, that they're going to get Rashee Rice back. They're going to have some young receivers, young weapons. And I've been kind of like that. The odds tell me that someone is going to take him down. Now, it's happened in the Super Bowl. It happened recently. But I'm only specifically talking about the AFC.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that order is correct?
Man,
Josh, Lamar, Joe? I feel like it's Lamar, Josh, Joe.
To me, it's as even as it could possibly be for Josh and Lamar. It's the same. It's the exact same type of pressure. I don't know how I could look at it any differently. They're both all-world, special, MVP, winning quarterbacks. Their teams are really good. That's all they're missing is to clip that guy to get to the Super Bowl. But then there's a whole nother level for all three where it's not only beating Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl, but then it's the winning part of it. And whether that's Jalen Hurts or Jared Goff or Jaden Daniels on the other side, the Niners, who knows, the teams that we think are going to be good on the NFC side of things, it's doing that too to get to that club that they're trying to avoid, right? To get away from the Charles Barkley, the Dan Marinos, those names that are Hall of Fame talents but didn't win the ultimate prize. So when I look at Josh, when I look at Lamar, it's the exact type of pressure because those guys have done all the individual stuff you could possibly want. They've been the MVP. They are respected as one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the sport. And so the scary part of what Kansas City has done the last 2 years is that they've reached a Super Bowl and won one without having Pat Mahomes be unbelievable. The last 2 years, Pat Mahomes, by his standard, has been okay. He's been fine. He has not been elite, but he hasn't had to be elite because their defense has been incredible. And so the Kansas City Chiefs have done a tremendous job of playing complementary football the last 2 years, whether it's special teams, whether it's defense, whether it's great coaching stuff from Andy Reid as the offensive play caller, Steve Spagnuolo as a tremendous defensive coordinator that's been around for years and years and years. They have it all. And I hear what Mike Tannenbaum is saying because now you look at the construction of their offense and it's like, okay, like Xavier Worthy, we saw what they're going to do with him. That's going to be a gadget wide receiver that can run really good routes as well, and they can do a lot of tricky stuff with him. And then you have your no doubt number one playmaker coming back in Rashee Rice to pair with what's a good complementary weapon in Hollywood Brown. And we didn't even mention Travis Kelce yet. And so that offense, I think, will tighten up. Josh Simmons, the former Buckeye, has a ton And I mean a ton of pressure on him to deliver right away as the blindside protector for Pat Mahomes. But when it comes to the pressure to beat the Chiefs, specifically Pat Mahomes with Josh and Lamar, it's dead even to me, AR.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not trying to overtire the conversation of pressure, but I think those two guys, if I told you that both Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson would retire without a ring, I think people would take the over on a half, that one of them's going to get one. Maybe not both, but one of them will. The Josh Allen part of the equation is, and he hasn't been able to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs when it counts, and I'm going to double-check this, but I think Josh actually has a winning record in the playoffs. He actually does. But when it comes down to Mahomes, he can't do it. But his postseason success, I mean, his interception rate, his touchdown-to-pick rate, all the yards he provides is incredible. He's in playoff history. He's the only player to average 250 passing and 50 rushing yards per game in playoff history. That's even over Lamar. And then I go to the key stuff, which is being 0-4 against Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And the pressure that provides.
He's Tom Brady of his era. That's what he is. Will he win 7 Super Bowls? I don't know. But for Josh, Lamar, Joe, they are Peyton Manning, they are Drew Brees, they are Phillip Rivers. Those are the cast of characters that we're looking at now. History is repeating itself. When you have that guy in those eras, that is usually the guy that cleans up more times than not, and we saw it with Brady and the Pats, and that's what they did. And so Peyton Manning, those guys on the AFC side of things, you're thinking, okay, when is it going to be their time? It took Peyton a while to get to that point. He had to go over to Denver and really do some good things with a defense to really get over that hump. And then you look at a guy like Drew Brees, it took him a little minute to do that too. And so you can be great. Josh and Lamar are Hall of Fame talents and probably will end up there one day, but it takes a lot outside of what you do individually to get it done. It's got to be everybody doing their part, and then you as that spectacular talent having a moment or two in those games to really bring it home for your team.
It's absolutely a team game, and he's got to be great when it counts. And I hate putting everything on these guys, but they make enough money now that the expectations are just off the chart. They have to be great when it counts. If Josh Allen can convert sneak, they probably win the game. And I will tell you, I think he even got it. But he didn't do it with any real emphasis. And that was the weirdest part for me because he's so big and he's such a good runner. He's so physical. But they weren't the Eagles, and they couldn't execute a tush-push when it counted. The weird part is that Burrow's down on most lists about quarterbacks that have pressure to win a Super Bowl. And I don't know why, because I would not put Dak ahead of him because Dak gets the team pass that maybe just Dallas is just not – like people don't put – enough pressure on Dak to win a Super Bowl. He has to be great offensively, but no one's thinking about Dallas as being a Super Bowl winner. And the other one would be Jared Goff. They had everything they needed last year, but people don't put Goff in the Allen, Lamar, Burrow category. So it's like these big-time quarterbacks like Dak and Jared Goff who are on, Goff especially on the Lions, it's weird how they would feel. They probably feel more pressure than even Burrow does. I don't know what, because I've seen some rankings when it comes to this, and maybe it's because Burrow is the guy that's already beaten Mahomes in the playoffs, and maybe he doesn't face that same
I still think he's living off that for sure. Yeah. And look, there's that you got to respect what he's done there. But you mentioned the roster that the Lions have had, and you look at the rosters that both the Bills and the Ravens currently have. If you're Jared Goff, you're Josh Allen, you're Lamar, you don't want to be 10, 15 years from now and think, man, what if? Because we had the squads to do it. The Ravens and the Bills right now are loaded. They're ready to go. If they have the bulk of those guys that they're going to rely on healthy when it comes down to playoff time, there's not a lot of excuses to be had. And so you just don't want to have that regret. It's easier said than done. I completely understand that. But we're at a point now with both Josh and Lamar where it's time to cash in and get that ultimate prize. But the Grim Reaper, the Night King, the gatekeepers out there in Kansas City are going to have something to say about it. We've just seen it too many times. And so if Mahomes and that team, man, if they have gathered more talent and free agency in the draft, which it looks like they have, they're going to be even scarier to deal with, which is wild to say.
I just have a feeling like this is the year. Kansas City was taken down in the Super Bowl. Now, that could work against me in that Kansas City might have been humbled in the biggest game, and now they're going to shore it up again.
Yeah.
and maybe the best time to get them would be coming off a title versus getting hammered in a championship game.
Yeah, they're going to be locked in.
But it's on, and the AFC is an absolute beast. We come back with pre-snap reads, and we've got an analyst saying that this guy is the top quarterback in a certain division in the NFC. We are beating the heat. You can help us here at the 400 West Main address of the 111 fire station here in Westerville. Drop off a fan and help beat the heat. We're here all day, and you can also do this anytime all summer long. It's Beat the Heat right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Scotty Vegas here. We all know that summer's the easiest season for weight loss. Warm weather, lighter meals, being outside. Our bodies are primed to succeed, and Awaken 180 has your game plan. Reach your goals this summer with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Excuse me, did someone say jackpot? The Ohio Lottery's Mega Millions jackpot is up to $348 million. You heard that right, $348 million. Jackpots start at $50 million and grow faster than ever. And drawings are every Tuesday and Friday. With the new built-in multiplier, all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times. Play Mega Millions today.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
10 West Broad, Columbus. CordellCordell.com.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. I wish I had an update to our forecast, but it remains the same. We'll have chances of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon into the early evening. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny skies. Highs in the mid to low 90s, and our feels like in triple digits in some spots. For tonight, lows down into the 70s, and then for Saturday, a little bit cooler. Highs in the upper 80s, but we will see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Otherwise, mostly to partly sunny skies. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with a 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, a little Bet365 time, Matty.
Let's do it because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. They have a great new sign-up offer via the app at Bet365 where you can bet $5 and you will get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So download the Bet365 app today. AR, we got the Padres in the house tonight down there in the Natty taking on Ellie in the Cincinnati Reds. I'm looking at another star of the sport. Give me Fernando Tatis Jr. tonight down at GABP to hit an anytime home run at plus 265. This dude is absolutely electric, as we all know. So I'm going Fernando Tatis Jr. to take a couple left turns tonight. Plus 265 is the juice on that.
All right, very nice. I like when you predict those. I need a win tonight in the MLB. By the way, on Bet365, you can get a 50% super boost on any MLB game today on your single game parlay. I am going to go just with a regular parlay of money liners, and so I've got a three-way with the Yankees, Milwaukee, and Tampa. Gets me to plus 253. I really like actually the Yanks and Arizona at plus 115 in a two-way.
There you go. Bet365 is the place to be. 21 plus only. You must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, we talked NFL and quarterbacks, and Marcus Spears is already knocking off one guy in the NFC East. He likes a guy that plays for Washington as the top dude.
Usually when we talk about these quarterbacks, and the reason why we talked about C.J. Stroud after his rookie year, because of the processing and how fast they were able to play from their mind. So if he's getting smarter, I expect him to be the best quarterback in the NFC East. And I know Dak Prescott is here in Dallas and has a longer tenure, but we see the things that Jaden Daniels can do off script, which adds to a lot of his ability. But it was funny, I was thinking about last year when we got this question for the show today. We didn't talk about Jaden Daniels' legs. We didn't talk about all of the crazy plays that he made. We talked about his clutch, ability to push the football down the field, his ability to move the football with his arm. And those are the things that we got so excited about. And that's the things that we should be excited about coming into the second year. Yes, all of those things are additives, and he does them well. He's fast, breakaway speed. You can run some quarterback run with him. But Jaden Daniels was dominant from the pocket. He was dominant from extended plays and throwing the ball downfield, which should give a lot of people in Washington, D.C. a lot of excitement about his growth and where they can be and potentially be next year.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I mean, this would be very difficult. I always like to equate it, Matty, as if I had to win one game today and the rosters are the same, do I want Dak or Jaden Daniels? And I'm more of the high floor, experienced guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Jaden Daniels as my fantasy quarterback. He was great. he's right. He did a lot of things well. He's older than his years. He's electric. But, I mean, outside of an MVP, Dak's accomplished everything a quarterback could accomplish in the regular season. Mm-hmm. He gets the playoff crush because of his lack of great play in the playoffs. But he's been a Rookie of the Year. He's been a runner-up in an MVP. He's been an All-Pro. He's won multiple division titles. And I just think that experience, I would take him. Now, if I'm starting a franchise, of course, I'm taking Jaden right now as just a future pick. But I like to put it at, like, you got to win a game today. Do you want Dak or do you want Jaden?
I'm taking Jaden. Let me throw this at you. Would you rather have Jaden or Jalen Hurts in that game that you have to win today?
So it's another. So you know where I'm leaning. I'm leaning the experience of a guy who's just won a Super Bowl
and has been good in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I
really
take him over Jaden right now. This is not a future thing. I think maybe a cool question would be, is if would you trade Jalen Hurts for Jaden Daniels? Would you make that trade?
If I'm Philly, I would do that. Feel like I get a little bit more runway there.
A small sample.
It is.
He's been great.
Yeah.
And he did get to a place where Dak hasn't even gotten, right? At the championship game.
Yeah. Cowboys haven't been to an NFC championship game in over 20 years.
Feels like 30.
Maybe closer to that.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I mean, what Marcus Spears was talking about in that clip is, like, if you cut his body in half for this conversation, Jaden could still be elite from the torso up, right, with what he can do with his arm. And they brought in even more weapons for him and bringing in Deebo Samuel this offseason. I'm sure they'll figure out the Terry McLaurin thing where he's looking for a new bag, which he absolutely deserves. But then the addition of Larry Tunsil is huge, too. You upgrade your left tackle position, right? So you're going to give your quarterback even more comfort mentally to know that my blind side is protected. And so you keep the same offensive coordinator, which I think is big for a young guy. You're not asking him to learn a new system in year 2. Cliff Kingsbury is there. I just think he's always going to provide a safe floor offensively because
the legs.
Yes, right? Like all that will always be there as a play caller and as a quarterback to know that if we can't do it through the air because it's, hey, we got injuries or whatever, weather or whatever it may be, we can go to that. And that's what's going to make him so dangerous. The health thing I am curious to see with his frame. He's a slight guy. Like, he is not the strongest guy at the position. Maybe he can build that up over time. But I think Jaden Daniels is going to be an absolute problem for years to come, and it seems like he's got the demeanor to handle it as well. He's got a lot to like. We saw this last year at LSU when the dude won the Heisman in year 1 down there or over there in Washington. He was special. I think about that throw he made against the Bengals in the corner to Terry McLaurin, which was an absolute dot, right? And you got just heat coming right down the barrel in your face in that blitz, and he's stuck in there as a rookie and delivered. So there was just so much to like there for Jaden Daniels, and I think he's going to keep building off of it.
Jalen's got it now because of winning the Super Bowl, and certainly, like, the pressure is somewhat off. Dak, I mean, the clock just keeps ticking.
Yeah.
32. What's Dallas going to be?
Now you get Pickens, too. Like, because I get that. Last year it was Lamb, and kind of after that, it's like, well, who else do they really have on offense that you really like consistently? But here you are with what could be one of the best duos in the league at the wide receiver position, because I think George Pickens in that number 2 slot is going to be scary good if he can just keep it together and keep his emotions in check.
All righty. That's our pre-snap read for today.
Folks, if you're looking for a new vehicle, I am going to direct you to the place that you need to be, and it is McDaniel GM Superstore up in Marion. I had an awesome experience with them. They really treated me well, took care of me, got me in and out in a few hours. I was on the road with a new car, and I've been loving it ever since. They have an awesome website. It's easy to use. They have over 150 new vehicles on their website. What they believe in is transparency with every car deal that they do. They are not going to hide anything from you. You will understand it very, very clearly like I did, and it was, again, a great experience. They've got a 2025 Silverado LD on the lot right now, and you can get up to $12,000 off MSRP. McDaniel GM Superstore up in Marion is the place to be if you need a new car. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
All right, we come back in 2 minutes. NHL draft tonight. Will the Jackets pick? Will they trade? And how will it impact this next team? Coach Dean Evison will be on the horn with us in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony. Comfort is king. We all strive for it, but life gets in the way. You know that.
And oh, my aching feet is not just a cliche. That's why the Good Feet store, in my opinion, has the best arch support solutions engineered to help you and me live the life we love without pain. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put right into all my shoes. They support, balance, and strengthen my feet and really guide them right into their ideal position. Every step I take, every move I make, I get relief. Not from the song, although I love that, but from my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. Your free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort, your personalized system. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Want to jinx your favorite sports team?
Please get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Just ask Maddie to print your shirts. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
You know, what a special season. Not special enough for this guy or the guys in the room to put the work in. But, you know, I saw a phrase today that I think we can all commit to. Don't wish for it, work for it. And I think that's where the Jackets are with head coach Dean Evison here on Rothman and Ice. He's live on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. And, Coach, this is nice of you to take the time. Hope you're having a good day and you feel good about things.
Well, thank you. I love the quote that, you know, we're not wishing. We're just going to work, and we're going to get to where we need to get to, obviously, and that's ultimately the Stanley Cup.
Coach, big advantage do you feel going into this year's camp? All the guys who have been here know your systems, what to expect, the accountability. You were just kind of thrown into the frying pan last year, and we know what that was all about. But give me an idea of how you feel about maybe the advantage you have now going into this season with the guys you have coming back.
Yeah, no, completely agree that, you know, the players understand what we are expecting of them as a coaching staff, extend that to, you know, Don Waddell and his staff upstairs and how we want to do things here as we move forward. So, yes, no question that the players, as soon as you can give the players the room and make them, not make them, but ask them to be accountable to how we want to play, and, you know, they take control of that, the better off we're going to be moving forward.
Coach, it's good to hear from you. Thanks so much for your time. I wanted to ask you and start with the goaltending situation, specifically Jet Greaves. I know that was a guy last year that really came up and gave you guys some good things, and the fans are excited about his potential. And I know it's not the biggest sample size, but, Coach, just talk about Jet Greaves, what you learned about him as a player and your expectations now for him moving forward.
Well, listen, obviously we've traded Tarasov, so we have put, you know, great confidence in Jet. But never forget that Elvis has been fantastic for this organization. And I know, like, whatever, like, Jets played well at the end of the season, but to have both of those guys competing in a healthy competition between the two of them to obviously win us hockey games, we're very excited about.
Coach Dean Evison with us from the Columbus Blue Jackets draft night tonight. Let me build off that a little bit, because I heard Don Waddell say that the same thing, that, listen, Elvis won you more games than he lost you. But do you think that with the way Jet played last year, and I have no idea where you guys will go with maybe even an addition in net this year, but What's your confidence in that Elvis maybe gets a little bit of a fire lit under him because of the way Jet played at the end of the year?
Well, you know what? Our goaltending situation is no different than our defense situation, our left wing, right wing, or center position. They are competing to, gain, ice time or, the role or more of a role moving forward. So it's an earned environment that our group has established here. And no different than our goaltending. Whoever is playing well is going to play.
A couple years ago, the franchise drafts Adam Fantilli, and I know there's a lot of buzz around him, coming out of the collegiate ranks. And then last year, to me, Coach, it really felt like it started to click. I know the year before he had that injury that took him out of the mix for some time. But, man, it looks like this kid is on his way, Coach, to being a force. His growth from your vantage point, what was that like to watch Adam Fantilli go about his business on a nightly basis?
I think Adam has, I know that Adam's committed to all areas of the game. He obviously has a special talent offensively to put up points, to score goals, which clearly everybody loves and we need to win hockey games. But to put into situations where, late in games defensively, maybe kill some penalties, whatever, structurally understand how he and we need to play, he's committed to that. And we seen his growth this year, obviously, but it happened because he committed to playing the game the right way, and then offensively he took off from there.
Dean Evison with us, coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. What do you think the challenge is this year, Dean, knowing you have the hunger from barely missing out, but also knowing it may not have the exact same emotion behind it? You were a team that came together, unfortunately, through tragedy, but maybe kind of get the idea of where I'm going. There is a new team. Right. There is momentum, but it won't have the exact same emotion behind it. What is the challenge this year?
Well, obviously, you're speaking about Johnny Gaudreau and everything that happened, like at the season. 100% that the players just rallied around, and clearly the tragedy that happened, like that we all went through, not just us, but the hockey world and the world, obviously going forward. But what I believe that this group has is that they have created a team-first mentality. We have a tremendous amount of leaders, tremendous amount of quality people in that room that is going to pull together to continue to move forward with, how we want to play the game, but most importantly, how we want to conduct ourselves as a team.
Coach, what's it like right now where you have the draft here and you have, Don Waddell, yourself, some other decision makers within the franchise that are just trying to figure out what's next and what we should do? You guys have a couple first-round picks you guys could use this weekend in the first round of the draft, but the collaborative part of all of this, can you walk us through that a bit and what it's like and the conversations you and Don have to figure out how you guys want to go about this thing?
Yeah, you know what? There's so many people involved, right? I mean, there's, Don and I obviously aren't, able to get out and see the players that are available as far as the draft picks are concerned. But the one thing that Don has created here with the environment that we have, it's just like it's complete, open, and communication. So, like from the minor league scouts to the pro scouts to Don's staff to our coaching staff and then to the players, it's fully open, and we communicate constantly, and obviously we it's a draft we're excited about, but in the free agency and all that moving forward, we're going to do the best things possible to put the best team on the ice, to, again, win the Stanley Cup.
He's Coach Dean Evison. Draft night tonight for the Jackets in the NHL. All right, so you've had a little time now since the end of the season. What have you identified, I guess? You were dangerous 5-on-5. The special teams was, as you know, bottom third. Don't have to remind you about that. But and then anything else you've identified on the home and road success discrepancy, now that you've had a little time? I know, like right after the season, you get thrown in front of a microphone. You're expected to analyze everything. Now that you've had some time, because I thought 5-on-5, you guys were as dangerous as anybody, but the power play was, 22nd, PK was 22nd, and then on the road, you just couldn't seem to get over the top. Have you identified anything tangibly that you can take into this season and improve?
Well, there's no question, and we are obviously have to improve with our road record. We've talked about it. We've identified some things that maybe we can do off of the ice. Possibly it might be the schedule or what have you. But yeah, no, I mean, there's tons of areas that we need to improve on, which we've obviously identified some stuff that, as you just mentioned, the power play, the PK, our road record has to get better. And we'll adjust some things moving forward in order to get ourselves to the position where, those 3, 4, 20 points, whatever it is, would have allowed us to be in the playoffs last year.
If I asked you, not maybe specifically position-wise, because you said, you're looking at everything, but how important you think it is to make sure that if you add something, if Don adds something here, that it's somebody with a winning pedigree, somebody that's been around the best players in the world, somebody that has the right character to help surround these, let's call them kids still, with guys that can still seamlessly fit in. We saw that with JVR. Is that something as a coach that you would put a big priority on, about making sure that if he does add an impact guy, that it's the right guy for you?
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic question, because 100% we want guys that obviously have won. We want guys that are good people and good teammates, right? Clearly, every player that we're looking at or free agency or bringing up or what have you, they have the skill set to play in the National Hockey League. Now, do they fit into what and how we want to play the game? That's where, we obviously need to identify. But Don and his staff do a fantastic job. If we're going to bring people in, obviously they do their research. We want great players, clearly, but we want really good people to, become Columbus Blue Jackets.
What's on the agenda this summer? A little trip back to Flin Flon, Manitoba. What are we getting into if we still have some time?
I don't think anybody goes back to Flin Flon. Everybody gets the heck out of there. But there's a lot of forest fires up north in Manitoba right now. But yeah, I've bounced around a little bit, visited my kids all through Canada, and played a lot of golf since I got back from the World Championships, and looking forward to obviously the draft and the development camp here, and then a little break, and then getting excited about getting after it with training camp. Awesome, man. As advertised, you are bringing that edge back to the Jackets. We talked to you in training camp when you were nice enough to have us over there. We know how tough and hardworking you were as a player. You've been the same as a coach, and we appreciate your time. Enjoy the draft tonight, and hopefully we'll see each other soon. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Outstanding. Flin Flon, Manitoba, Matty. Town of about $5,000. You know what they do there? They play hockey, and they sit around and watch the cars rust. That's about the plan.
Join us Friday night for the Blue Jackets Draft Special right here on the Fan. Bob McElligott and Dylan Tyre will be live from Nationwide Arena as the Jackets look to add some exciting new talent to the lineup. It all starts Friday at 6. The Blue Jackets Draft Special, sponsored by Ohio Health, only on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I've had a lot of people stop by. My boy Jeff Stern coming by, which is very nice. And Gonzo, we appreciate you as well, people that are helping out the cause here at the Station 111 in Westerville, the fire station. We're trying to beat the heat. You can come back in 2 minutes with, actually it's a little longer than 2 minutes, but we'll be back with Tell the Truth. And also a chance to win a couple of passes to the Pro Football Hall of Fame up in Canton. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Hey friends, Beamer here. So did you jump in on Awaken 180's Lose 40 by the 4th challenge? Well, if you did, well, a huge congratulations to you on hitting a 40-pound goal in less than 2 months. That deserves some serious celebration. Speaking from experience, I dropped double digits my very first week on Awaken 180, and in just over 3 months, all 70 pounds were gone. Total game changer for me, and the results came lightning fast. Now, if you haven't jumped on board yet, there's no worries. There's still plenty of summer left to lose your 30, 40, 70 like I did, or even 100 pounds or more. I'm not saying you're going to drop 40 pounds next week, but if you have the same week one results I had, you'll definitely be on your way. Set your sights in August. Think summer barbecue, golf, the beach, every bit of it fits into your new Awaken 180 lifestyle. Lose weight, love summer, and thank me later. You can start today at awaken180weightloss.com, the official weight loss program of summer.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Hey, look, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
You know what I love the most about your store?
What's that, common man?
The way you treat people. You get to know your customers. That's why they keep coming back. No sleazeballs around. Just good, clean boys and girls selling jewelry.
Stop in and see the difference for yourself.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. It's where Columbus gets engaged. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Road trip!
This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $494 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Want to know know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, Iceman. I've dropped on the Chief hat.
Yeah,
they allowed me to put it on.
You look official.
This is
great,
a guy
Rothman.
that gets some work done, right? A man who can really get some thinking done.
Yeah, no, Chief Miller's going to have to wash that thing out there when you take it off. Get a lot of shampoo in that thing.
Oh, man. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be game used. Maybe we'll auction it off or something. All right. Let's make this easy on you. Let's give out some Hall of Fame tickets to go up to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and check out the museum. And you know what that's all about. Maddie, give him a number.
614-821-9710 is our hotline number. Visit profootballhof.com for more information. But right now, giving away 2 passes to the Hall of Fame.
All right, we'll get on that. TLC, take us home.
All righty. Tell the truth. Do you hold it against NFL quarterbacks and their legacy if they spent their career playing in a dome? And talk for a while I answer the phone.
No, I don't. Because there's going to be their fair share of games outdoors anyway. So I think in a way it will balance itself out. I don't look back at the career of a Drew Brees or a Peyton Manning and think lesser of their careers because they got to play in a dome at home. I don't view it that way.
Those are the big examples. I'm glad you named the 2 big ones, but I think what we're doing is we're getting into a whole new era also. I like those examples you gave. There is something to be said for the guys that had to battle and get those numbers outside. But you're right. Eventually, for you to be judged in your legacy, in your history, it's did you win the big one?
Yeah.
There are 2 clubs, the guys that have one and the guys that wish they had one.
And a lot of times those big games are played in good weather venues, right? We've seen it. Minnesota's hosted one in the Dome. A lot of these West Coast stadiums get to host these Super Bowls. Like, it's rare that you have to ask quarterbacks and teams to grind it out in the ultimate game.
It's another great point that the ultimate game, they're both going to get climate controlled, whether it's outside in a good climate or whether it's indoors. So, no, we will not hold that against them. When you think about, listen, the Bradys, the Montanas, the guys that played outside, but Matty nailed it. Am I holding it against Roger Staubach? Of course I'm not. It's Warren Moon, guys that played indoors. No, you either got it or you don't. There is a little bit more to say the guys that played outdoors and played really well, the Roethlisbergers and guys that had to battle. But
because sometimes even in those games when the conditions are that bad, you as a quarterback aren't spinning it like you normally are either, right? Like, you better have a great run game and a tremendous defense in those games because conditions, whether it's wind, snow, rain, whatever it may be, like, you're not throwing the rock up like you could. So I like the question, but no, I don't look back at the careers as a lot of those guys and think, hey, I wanted to see them do it outside more.
I think it's because there are just so many indoor stadiums now. It's not just a novelty like where it was like the Pontiac Silverdome or the Metrodome or where it just looked weird, where there were many more outdoor stadiums than indoors. Now it just becomes so commonplace. And then the other thing is we saw Jaden Daniels, and we just talked about him, go into Detroit and beat that team. That's an outdoor team beating an indoor team on their own turf in their own shop. And so, no, it's the matchups now. It's the talent. And like Maddie said, the big game is played in climate-controlled anyway for the most part. We've seen a rainy Super Bowl before, but the key in those Super Bowls is just not turning it over. Maybe not playing great, but not playing poorly in a big game.
That's a fantastic question.
Rothman's Dan Rather over here. All right, today's fan poll. I actually kind of like this one. Who's a better head coach, Kevin Stefanski or Zach Taylor?
I think I'd give it to Stefanski right now, just as far as, like,
doing more with less?
Doing a little more with less. Yeah, Stefanski. I just think he's got, yes.
The uphill climb at quarterback for Stefanski is steeper than it was with Zach Taylor.
Zach hasn't won Coach of the Year, has he?
The year they went to the Super Bowl, who won Coach of the Year?
Because doesn't Stefanski have a couple Coach of the Year awards?
He's got 2 of them.
That's what we need to find out. TLC should have that at the ready.
Who won Coach of the Year, TLC, the year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl?
Vrabel. The Titans were the 1 seed.
Vrabel did?
Tannehill in the game. Okay, over there.
And then I think the Bengals
the game that
sacks.
Yes, the game that Tennessee came all the way back on Cincinnati, had it tied, and Vrabel forced to try to win it at the end of regulation, and Tanny threw that pick.
Yep.
They had come all the way back. They had the momentum, or they're going to the Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill. And that would have completed the circle for me, because Matty knows in the beginning I was a fairly big fan of the dual threat Ryan Tannehill. But I have to step aside from WNBA betting.
Yesterday's fan poll, we'll keep it quick. Guardians and Reds, who's making the playoffs? Either, neither, or both?
I'm going to say neither.
Yeah, the NL is very crowded. I don't think the Reds, because I think they're going to have to win their division. I truly believe that. And I don't think the Cubs are going to fall off. On the AL side of things, Tigers, I think, will win that division. Wild
They might be the best team in baseball right now.
No doubt. I'm going to go neither, too. I don't think there's enough wiggle room on either side.
It's going to be interesting because Matty's Reds have to get it going right before the break, and they got a pretty tough schedule. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I am looking at a half-empty bottle of Cavatier, which means that we are just about out of time.
If you missed anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. All you have to do is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Our podcast is sponsored by the wonderful folks over at Bet365.
Help us beat the heat. Drop off a fan all summer long to any Franklin County Firehouse. A special thanks to Chief Brian Miller and his station here at 111 for welcoming us in. What he doesn't know is we're planning now to do the show here every day.
There we go.
Because it's really convenient for me, and I've loved the snacks that they put out for us.
They had a charcuterie board.
I might even get all the finest meats and cheeses for a clubhouse feast right
here.
we need. Maybe a souvenir mug. You never know.
Yeah. I'm in. I'll be here, too.
We'll see. We've invited ourselves. TLC, great job. Everybody have a good weekend. Stay safe and beat the heat. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Common Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I have been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is bringing the funny this summer. Tiffany Haddish takes the mic on Friday, July 18th with the Funny and Fearless Tour. Then Dion Cole Live hits the stage Friday, September 5th for a night of nonstop laughs. 2 comedy icons, 2 unforgettable nights. Get your friends, grab a drink, and get ready to laugh all night long. Big names, big laughs, only at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Visit HollywoodColumbus.com for more details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Here's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are in St. Louis this weekend for a divisional series with the Cardinals and then return home on Monday to welcome the New York Yankees to Great American Ballpark, followed by a weekend series with the San Diego Padres. That Tuesday game will be our next Budweiser 3-2-1 Tuesday. At all Tuesday Reds home games, fans can purchase $3 Buds and Bud Lights, $2 hot dogs, and $1 ice cream cups. The Padres series opener is another City Connect Fireworks Friday. Stick around after the game for a spectacular fireworks show. And looking ahead, come out to Great American Ballpark on Saturday, June 28th, and help us celebrate the legendary Big Red Machine's 50th anniversary. Fans in attendance are able to receive a Big Red Machine 50th anniversary cap presented by FanDuel Sports Network while supplies last. For information on everything happening at Great American Ballpark all season long, visit Reds.com.
Get ready to rock. Soft, that is. Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents Yacht Rock Symphony, Saturday, June 28th, featuring all your favorite 70s and 80s super yacht rock hits on one stage with Ambrosia.
You're the biggest part of me.
Joined by John Ford Coley.
And I'd really love to see it tonight.
And Peter Beckett, the voice of Player. Don't miss this incredible night of hits, ending with a brilliant display of fireworks. June 28th at the Columbus Commons. For tickets, visit picnicwiththepops.com.
Donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP.